Okay, it start recording. Hello, Steve.
Hello.
Hello. How are you? I think you mute yourself. Do you wanna unmute yourself? I
Hey,
think.
Bob. Yeah, I had muted myself by accident.
That's fine. Yeah, more and more people come. And then, yeah, we have, I think so far we have 15 people sign up. So yeah, should be
Nice.
good. Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Video to work.
Yeah, cool. Hey. Yeah, we will start at 10 minutes. Yeah, and Cliff is here, so if you have any questions, yeah, feel free to ask him. And today is his show, and I'm just setting up the Zoom meeting. And I will post the video. Right now we are recording, so if you wanna be famous, just right now is the time. Yeah, and this video will be showing on Cliff's side and my channel as well. So both of our channel, and we will kind of like share around the world. So yeah, this is the time to get famous. So just keep showing up. Yeah. Yeah. If you have any questions, just talk to Cliff. Yeah. He's the master. Yeah. So today. Yeah. Hey, Cliff. Okay. Cliff probably is.
I'm here.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to take over?
Yeah, no, you want to wait till 10:10 or do you want to get started now?
I don't know. If anyone wants to talk, Cliff, like ask questions, right now is the time. And right now it's recording, so I mean, it's all good.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I will send you whatever link for the video, and feel free to do anything. It's your meeting. Yeah.
Nice,
cool.
nice.
Yeah, it's recorded right now. And later on, can I have like a podcast with you? Like, yeah, just catch up. So we have like a video one, which is the meetup. Another one will be like a more podcast, more like a audio one. I think that would be great. Yeah, cool. Thank you so much, Doc.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Here, I got to turn off this. Well, I could keep it on. So, hi, guys. How's everybody doing today?
Okay, thank you.
Good. So, Dom's really great. Known her for a long while, and wanted to do this Zoom today. Show you a little about innovations in augmented reality, mixed reality, VR also. And so what we'll do is we'll start with some augmented mixed reality glasses. So the first thing I want to show you is the progression of augmented reality, mixed reality. So right here I have my Google glasses. I don't know if anybody's got some Google Glass. So these came out, around 2013, 2014. Been using those since then. These came out a little while ago. They're called the Vuzix glasses. And they're really kind of the next step up from the Google Glass. The Google Glass is the prism in the front, but the Vuzix doesn't have any right there. It's right eye on the Vuzix, so the image just comes out of the right eye, but you can move it around the screen, so there's some adjustability. Then I've got my Bose AR glasses here. I love these glasses. These are incredible. I don't know if you've ever tried these on. So these are the Bose augmented reality glasses. And they're really not augmented reality. They're augmented audio reality. So that's how they bill it. So basically, these are incredible because they're so lightweight, featherweight. They have speakers inside the frames here. So, and a button here on the bottom. So you push the button that turns the power on, and then it connects to the phone. And then you can use Alexa, Google Assistant. I have Android, I use Google Assistant on this. But it has the speakers right in the frames here. So you can play music, or you can bring audio in, and almost no one in your vicinity can actually hear what you're hearing because it's right in the frames, right by the ears. But what's also cool is it's more spatial audio. So the audio comes out and around. So it's more of a richer audio experience. The only thing about these is that there's not much bass sounding on it. It's more treble and mid-range. But I wear these every day here at the beach in LA because they're just absolutely incredible glasses. Always listening to music. I don't really prefer those in-ear buds. And then I have these, which are a little big. I have some wireless Sonys, but these are just perfect. So I just put these on, wear these around all day long, and those are incredible. Now we come up to the higher end of the mixed reality and the augmented reality. So I have a couple pairs of Magic Leap here. I got my background here with the TV Academy. So I'm in the interactive media peer group of the Television Academy. So I have that background. So I have two Magic Leaps here. Magic Leap mixed reality. They have augmented reality, but they also call it mixed reality because augmented reality is if you have a fixed image in front of you. Mixed reality is where you can interact with the images or 3D models all around you in the space. So Magic Leap's been around. I got the first pair back in August, 8/8/18, and been developing with them for a long time. And I have two pairs, and the CEO, Roni, gave me a pair. And I show them all around and let people experience these all over Los Angeles for the last couple of years. The thing is that they've just changed their whole focus. So it was consumer oriented, but now they've moved into just enterprise. So from now on, they're more going to be developing and selling these for enterprise over the next year. And then they do have the ML2, the Magic Leap 2 glasses, which are supposed to be a lot smaller, that should be coming out, they say, in 2022. I just got a pair of Oculus here, Oculus Quest. So this is the 128 gigabyte. I think it's very important to get into VR. I haven't been in VR really all this time until recently because I'm just not happy with, one, the resolution of the screen, and two, have the experience of the closed full immersion. So that's why I prefer the augmented mixed reality. However, that now we've gone into this new normal, and many people are at home. People have been in California at home for just almost 2 entire months now. And so people are going to be tired of looking at, you know, their walls of their houses.
Yeah,
There's only a limited amount of space. And it was a big thing, augmented reality, for a while, because I thought, you know, oh, well, we're going to have the AR, we're all going to be able to interact, we're going to go into big open spaces, and we're going to be able to communicate with each other with the mixed reality. However, since everything's changed in the last few months, many people are at home, there's going to be a lot of social distancing. So I think that this sparks an incredible transformation, a boom for virtual reality. So I saw this, I see these trends from months ago. So back in October, there were fires in Los Angeles. So I got some N95 respirator masks.
Yeah, I saw you wear that.
Yeah, and then there's a fire before Magic Leap, so we were all wearing one at a hackathon in San Francisco. But those masks were $2 a mask for the real 3M N95. And then I looked in December, and the masks were going for like $200 for 10 of them. So Amazon just jacked, you know, the resellers in the black market, they just jacked that up. So in mid-January, I knew that once I started seeing this started getting bad with the virus, I was like, oh, well, the Oculus is going to sell out, and these headsets are going to sell out because we got all the gamers at home, 30 million kids. We got hundreds of millions of people at home. We got at least 100 million people working. People are going to have to work remote. So with this, we've got gaming, entertainment, remote working, and then as far as remote working, you know, this year it's been really a disaster because I would have been going to events constantly. I go to events all the time in Los Angeles and around the world, really, but they're just incredible events. So, you know, I do all the hackathons. YouTube has events, and YouTube Space in Playa Vista. And the biggest one of all is the FYC. So if you're not familiar with the FYC, because a lot of people don't know about it, is the 4-year consideration. So what it is from March to June for the last 30, 40 years, or at least the last 10, 20 years, the networks, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Disney, Sony, all the television, NBC, they all throw these events from March to June. So last year, I was going from here to Hollywood almost 3-4 nights a week, going to events and parties, basically, that all these studios and network television put on. They put on all through Hollywood. So last year, Amazon took over the athletic club, the Hollywood Athletic Club, and they took it over for months. So you would go and you would see a show, one of the Amazon shows, and they brought you to the Hollywood Athletic Club, and they had big buffet dinners everywhere. But then the whole club of 2 floors, every room was a different experience from an Amazon television show, a series that they were promoting for the nominations for the Emmys. And the funny thing is they had Jack Ryan, they had all these Amazon series everywhere, and the one that won the Emmys was, I forget the name of the show, but the one that won the Emmys, this English woman, this English show. And when you went through the whole experience, they only had her set on the walls going into Jack Ryan and Hannah, and it was pictures of hamsters all over the walls. It was really funny, these hamsters pictures all over the walls, and they didn't even have a full room dedicated, but they actually won numerous Emmys last year. So I did like 50 events last year from March to June, where I go to Hollywood 3 or 4 nights a week to Netflix and Amazon and series after series, and being able to network with television academy members and actors and all this and that. So the last one, there were only a couple this year, and the last one at the Television Academy was Westworld. So all the Westworld actors actually came. They made the changes where when they were handing out serving the food at the afterwards, it wasn't like a buffet, so they had to feed you basically and hand you the food. But in the event, usually at the end, you're able to interface with the actors and meet them. They come out and everything, but this was like one of the first ones where the actors couldn't come out and interface with the crowd. And what was really cool is the guy from Breaking Bad, Aaron Paul, I guess, he's now in Westworld. So he was there. So the entire cast of Westworld was there, and the directors and everybody. So it's really nice seeing about you get to learn about television, how it's made, the acting, and all the behind the scenes, really, of an incredible show that's on TV now, like Westworld. So I missed all this. I'm missing all this now from March to June, these 50, 60 events, and it's really upsetting. But to bring that back to this, so we have virtual conferences, virtual networking, virtual trade shows. So those are the big 3, and then private meetings. So back in end of January, I was like, oh, I think it's going to start getting really bad. And so I better get an Oculus 128 gigabyte Oculus Quest. So I went and I ordered this. it came pretty quick. But then once I ordered it, it was 700, but then there was tax, so it was like almost 800. And originally it's only about 550, 600 way back last August. It came out a year ago, but then right at that time it sold out too. And then it took all the way till October, November. And then I think it was around at Christmas. But this is really a pretty incredible unit because it's not tethered. So you can just put it on your head. There's no wire. You can spend another, I bought it for $200. I got this fiber optic wire that extends out to a PC, and that lets you play the Rift games. The Rift is the more expensive unit with the better screen, but this allows you to connect to a PC and play the higher resolution games. Now, the only thing about this is, so Magic Leap, when Magic Leap came out, a lot of people were kind of not happy with the optics and the look and everything, and that it wasn't very sharp. And Palmer Luckey is the guy that one of the guys that were coming out of USC that created this thing. And then he actually gave a lot of negative comments of Magic Leap because of the resolution of the device. So I got this, and I put it on. Now for me, because I've never really been interested in VR because of having a screen right at your face, and it's usually all too pixelated, it's kind of the same experience that happened. So when I put this on, I mean, you can see the big dots and the pixelation in this screen. So I really am surprised that we're already into 2020 and they don't have a very high resolution screen for the
right. That's crazy.
Exactly. Like it should be much higher resolution, but they just came out with word that they're coming out with a new Oculus Quest. It's going to be a little better. But I mean, this should be, like 8K in each eye by now. So I would probably get a VR headset now because I think it's very important to start getting into that whole virtual world and being able to go into rooms and being able to navigate around. And I've found some cool experiences doing that. For me, it's just all very pixelated, and you can just see the dots and everything. And then it depends on the video, it depends on the rooms you're in, the lighting, just kind of like magically. But now I'm going to go into the coolest stuff ever. I'm going to drink the water here. Now I'm going to come into the coolest stuff ever, which is my favorite right now. And that's the Nreal mixed reality glasses. So right here are the Nreal mixed reality glasses.
What's the difference between Nreal and Magic Leap? I tried Magic Leap, but I haven't tried Nreal.
So almost no one's tried these glasses, these Nreal glasses.
Right.
And the differences are that Magic Leap 2 years ago decided to build their operating system on open source Android, but they changed the code to make it a proprietary Android. So it's a closed system. So it's a proprietary closed system like Apple or Microsoft for their operating system. So when you go into your Magic Leap, the whole interface and everything, the whole experience, it's all Magic Leap. You really can't back out. You can't go into an Android interface, even though it's all based on open source Android. It's also heavier. The optics are not as clear. And it is more of a developed ecosystem. So the good thing about Magic Leap is you can turn it on, it works. You can use a 6DOF controller, it has a navigation. But then when you want to develop on it, it's called Magic Leap. You need to turn off their microphone. But it's Magic Leap Development Bridge, basically. So you use this, you have to use Magic Leap and connect to the, you might want to let somebody know they got to turn their mic off because I'm hearing some background noise. Dominic. But what it is that with Magic Leap, you have to create the app, say in Unity or Unreal Engine, and then you have to use the command line, and it becomes MPK. So a normal Android file is an APK, but this is an MPK, they call it, because it's a Magic Leap package, basically, Magic Leap file. Then you have to use the command line, and with the command line, you have to upload, sideload into the Magic Leap. So it's all this closed system, and then they have an app store that has very few apps, but I think they take a pretty good percentage in hosting the app in the app store. So they're going to take a percentage of the sales on that. But then they do have a couple showcase stores in Magic Leap where you can build an app and you can host it just at Magic Leap so people can download it just so that they can experience the app without paying for it. So now we get into these. So this is Nreal, and they both have tethers, but the Magic Leap has a puck, which is an NVIDIA computer. So you have your Magic Leap here. Let's get, you have your Magic Leap here. And this here, you have a tether wire, and then this puck. This puck is actually an 8 gigabytes of RAM body computer. It's an NVIDIA Tegra 2 Jetson body computer, basically a computer vision accelerated processor and computer. And this thing is really powerful, but it's really big. And so with this, everything's been brought down to a much nicer size. So you have a little cord here, and then instead of that big puck, you have this little puck. So then in this little puck, this is the controller. So you have, this is not a 6 DOF, it's really like a 3 DOF controller, but it allows you to have the pointer, and it's pretty much the same thing. So you can connect that, it connects to the magnet, the controller to the main unit, and then that allows you to charge the controller here. Then you have the main unit. So this is really tiny and small, but this is actually a Snapdragon Qualcomm chip computer. So this base is basically like an Android phone. So you could just correlate it to this being like an Android phone, and has RAM and everything in it, just doesn't have a screen. So in order to see the screen here of the Android, you have to have an emulator. So they have these emulators, SCR, it's like Scrappy, SCR CPY. So you put Scrappy in to you put Scrappy on your desktop, you install that, and then when you plug this in, it will emulate the Android operating system that's on this Snapdragon device. And what's so cool about that is that once you open that up, you basically just have an Android screen, and it's like a phone. So then we could talk about these glasses here. So these are the lightest weight glasses in mixed reality.
Lighter than Bose?
These are just about as light as the Bose glasses. Almost, just about, and this is feather light. But it's just slightly heavier than the Bose glasses, but that's just audio, and this is full mixed reality video. So,
can you do audio as well for Nreal?
Yeah, so this has spatial audio in the ears, so it has dynamic spatial audio in the ears. Right here at the top are cameras.
Wow.
Let's see.
Like, what's the resolution of the camera?
The camera's 1080p. So there's a camera on here, and then there's the vision, there's infrared sensors, the SLAM sensors that are going out and they're mapping the room. Now, because it's Android based, it's pretty much Android AR Core. Cores.
So iOS, are they going to develop iOS? Because I don't have Android.
Ooh, yeah. For now, I believe it's based on more Android. But see, the thing is, it's not about that. It's about the just developing on Unity. So you would develop
Oh.
anything you want on Unity. They have an SDK and a plugin, Unity plugin. So you just connect the Unity plugin. Now the coolest thing is you can get into this now. There's 2 ways to do it. So I've been ahead of it. I'm usually ahead of everybody by like a year or 2.
That's so true. That's very true.
And it's great because I keep my eyes open. I'm always interested in the incredible future technology. But to talk about the glass a little more. So you have this nose piece, you add in this little nose bridge. You can fit whichever nose you want to put it, your own nose, fit it to your nose. So it comes with a few of these nose bridges to fit right. It has where you can only see about half through the glasses because on the upper top it's kind of plastic here, and it but see when you put it on you kind of don't notice that. So put these on right here.
So what's the view? Because I know like a Magic Leap or Windows Mixed Reality or whatever, it's like a super small, like square.
Yeah. So basically how it looks is if you had a full pair of glasses, you'd see the whole range of the glasses. With these, the top half of the glasses is taken up kind of with a plastic where the screens are embedded in the top. So it's kind of to here basically where you can see.
So you can see the
It's
half.
not bad. It's not bad.
Not bad.
But the difference with Magic Leap is that you kind of can't see the lower. You can't see the lower edges of the. See, Magic Leap when you look through it, it's like a square.
Yes.
And so if you put your eye outside of the square where the overlay of the mixed reality is,
see the reality.
You don't see it. It's just it's like a letterbox. So you just see nothing but just normal what you're seeing out there. But with these, the way that they have it, it's real interesting where the image goes all the way down to the bottom of the lenses. So the images kind of brush up right flush against. So that kind of makes it a little more fully where it's not letterboxed.
Wow.
Yeah, more of an experience.
That's bigger. That's probably the biggest one, right? This one.
It's pretty much about the same as Magic Leap and HoloLens 2, but it may be a little wider than up and down, than horizontal. So to go a little more into these.
Do you know how many degrees the FOV is? What's up, Cliff? How's it going?
Hey, what's up? I got to look that up, but it's about the exact number.
My Pacific Future knockoffs of the Nreals are the FOV is 55.
Yeah, it's real close to that. So it's similar, but the exact numbers somewhere sitting on the internet. So, but thanks for asking that. So the other real cool important thing to note about this is, so I have HoloLens 2. I have them in now, and I'm actually reselling HoloLens 2. So if anybody wants a HoloLens 2, I got them. They're still pretty hard to get. And I've sold a whole bunch of them to mixed reality and AR developers around the world. So the thing is with Magic Leap is they're kind of beaming the video through it's kind of lasers, but it's kind of to explain it. I don't really want to get into the whole optics and the optical engineering of it, but it's kind of beaming the light down and then it's reflecting back. Let's just say that, okay? But with these, you instead of that way of it's beaming the light in and reflecting, which I mean I've had the Magic Leap for a couple of years. I really love Magic Leap. Everybody's been nice. The support's really great. So if you want to develop on Magic Leap and then you start developing in Unity or this and that, you need some help. You need some connection. You need to do anything with getting support. They have an excellent board. So with tech people. So, you know, if you can't make something work or you can't get the output or you can't map the controller to the game or anything, you can put it up on the board at Magic Leap and they're very responsive and helpful. And then even if there's something in Unity where you can't make it work with Magic Leap, you can even end up sending the project to their team and they'll tweak it for you. So it's real nice that at least they've given that personalized service over the last while where they'll really go beyond the call to help you complete your project. It is a really, it becomes a little more of a complicated process of developing for Magic Leap. So usually you do it in Unity, so you'd set up Unity, and then you would have to change a lot of settings, change a lot of player settings. One problem that a lot of people kept coming across over and over again is they changed the operating system of Magic Leap. So they have a operating system keeps, and they come out with the new one. And it's really important now, you should check if you have a Magic Leap because they came out, there's a critical battery problem where if you keep the Magic Leap on too long, the battery could heat up and it's not good. So they're asking everybody that if you have a Magic Leap or you know someone that has a Magic Leap, you should definitely get the new update to patch that critical update of the heating up of the battery. And that's really, I've never had any problems with Magic Leap, and I've had them for a long time. So now to talk about these a little more.
Now, I got a quick question, Cliff.
Yeah, sure.
Between the Nreal, the HoloLens, and the Magic Leap, have you tested out any of the collaborative AR platforms? I mean, there are a lot of collaborative platforms, and I've been working with a group of people getting a list of these together. It's xrcollaboration.com, but specifically as it relates to AR, have you tested out any of these platforms and had interactions with folks? And if so, like what has your experience been with that? Because that's really a killer app.
It really is. So I have, Magic Leap does have a avatar app. So you can go in, you have an avatar, it's more cartoonish, and then you can connect with others. So I've experienced that. But like VR, and like you're saying, Ben, which Ben, I saw Ben at CES in 2020, and we were all around the Nreal booth, and Ben's a really great guy. You should get to know Ben. There's a lot of insight and experience in augmented reality, mixed reality. But basically, the landscape out there, it's so kind of fragmented. And I've been, all last fall, it was like I went to SMPTE, and there was just one or two developers at SMPTE and LA, and I went to Mobile World, at SIGGRAPH. I went to SIGGRAPH in August, and there were only just a handful of Magic Leap, like one or two people exhibiting. And then I went to SMPTE and I went to Mobile World Congress, and there was really nothing on Magic Leap at either of those, except for, and then there was the Infinity Festival, which is a really cool festival. You should check that out. So they had one a year ago in Beverly Hills, and then they moved it to Hollywood. And it was really incredible. HP, Intel put the whole thing on. And it was in Hollywood at Goya Studios, it was called. So they had a lot of lectures. But what was really great about that was very high level. So it was like CTOs of entertainment companies in LA and all sorts of things. But to answer your question, I have pretty much every AR, VR, mixed reality developer on LinkedIn. I have 24,000 connections on LinkedIn. So when Magic Leap came out, and I was one of the first people to get Magic Leap in 2018, and I showed that on LinkedIn, I was one of the first. So everyone saw that I had it, so they started to connect to me. So I mean, I have virtually almost every augmented reality and VR, AR developer and company on my LinkedIn. And a lot of people contact me constantly. So I got 50, 100 people contacting me on LinkedIn every day. I have 24,000 connections.
Specifically, any app like Spatial?
Yeah, so what I was going to...
like porting their app to those platforms. And I personally haven't. I'm actually going to get the Quest build for that. And, but, you know, ones like that where, specifically in AR, where you can hold meetings and have, because like Spatial's got a pretty cool, like you can upload your photo and it'll wrap it onto a 3D avatar and you actually look like you instead of a, you know, an alt space doll or, you know, a VR chat hot dog or, you know, things like that.
Yeah, so that was where I was going to close that right there and just say no, because it's so fragmented. I really haven't broken out into the community collaboration on that. I've seen experience some of that at a couple of the hackathons that people have made. But the big problem in that, like you said, is it's so new that it's kind of fragmented. So there's just very few companies that are offering that kind of communication experience. But I do know that spatial is at the forefront. So I am planning on moving to that. What happened though is because the shift in VR happened so fast right now, I'm looking at what you're thinking about, but for the VR side. So for me, I don't know where to go. I don't know how to connect. What happened was there was really not much going on in the whole VR space until around November, December. Then I started seeing Vive, because I have the president of Vive and many people from Vive on my LinkedIn. They did an education conference, basically.
Yeah, did you go to Educators in VR and
exactly
Vive conference? Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
Engage, amazing.
Yeah. So see, so because VR is so new to me, I'm like, well, how do I connect? Do I have to have a Vive? Some things you have to have a Vive. Maybe you can't have an Oculus, so you have that problem. And then it's just, where are you going to meet and how are you going to connect? And now these conferences and these networking events just in VR are coming up on LinkedIn. But how do you connect with the VR? And will the Oculus work? Will the cross platforms work? So what I'd like to see is both in AR mixed reality and in VR, you guys or Dominic or someone, or even I'm going to be starting to put together a list and a calendar of these events coming up, because it's so sporadic right now. So I'd really like to see, okay, next week's going to be this VR event, and here's how you connect, here's how you tune in, here's the device you need in order to do that. Here's the app you may need in order to connect to get into the room and all that sort of stuff. So I think that's, I think that I have not really done too much of this, but this is where I really want to go, is into the.
Well, let's talk outside this call about it. But, just to let you know, by the end of the month, like before AWE, we plan, I'm working with a bunch of interesting folks on XR collaboration. And we're looking to expand the list of these different platforms to do it, and to get as granular as, which platforms are supported by which devices.
Yeah, I think that's a big hindrance right now. Is I bought the Vive because, well, it's Facebook. Facebook's going to have their big event coming up really soon. It's the newer system. However, I do virtual production with Unreal Engine. And I guess you can use different headsets. You can use the Quest. I can develop on that and preview and stuff. But I think the problem is with that is that Vive, so when you go to hook up a system of the virtual production, usually what people do is they have a camera, like a real video camera. Then they take that into an I/O, an input-output card on like a desktop. So they'll bring in a live video stream. It's an input output. And then the thing is, you have to usually put like a Vive controller on top of the camera, because that does the match moving and the motion, so that the background will move with the camera, say on the green screen. And this is just so new, this whole virtual production, setting up this kind of a virtual production. Very few people have done that. And there's a guy, Matt Workman, on LinkedIn who does a lot of this stuff. And he's just developing it so that consumers and smaller producers can do virtual productions right in their own small spaces with the green screen and that kind of camera. But then it goes to, you have to maybe have an older Vive controller or just the Vive controller to stick on top of the camera. And I have the Oculus, and I have the Oculus controllers. And I want to be able to, because I have the Quest, I want to be able to put the Quest controller on and do the motion. Now, I do have an iPad 12.9 where I can do virtual production, use the iPad as a VCam, a virtual camera, which I like a lot. but the pros want to have it a better system with the real controller on top of a real camera. So now, just so to finish that story, I think there's a lot of room for growth and a lot of room for leadership, like you guys can do, to bring together more cross-platform with the VR. You know, they have I forget what it's the whole XR development they have where you can do all cross-platforms. There's a few different operating systems or code. There's a few different codes that can actually combine the different devices together. So that's where I would really be pushing is cross-platform. So when you're doing mixed reality, like with Magic Leap, you want people to be able to see it in any type of glasses, not just the Magic Leap glasses. Same with VR. I would personally not want people to have to be on one system, but to be able to all be on different systems to be cross-platform. So I think there's a big need.
Is to be able to get people that can get on, on 2D devices. And I understand that Mac unplugged Steam this week, which is terrible for Steam users. But
yeah, I heard that.
But that's also like people are using hubs and WebXR based collaborative and social things. Everybody can get on those, and that's like the wider the support, the larger the market.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. That's what I was talking about. Was the WebXR seems to be where everyone's going in the development for the cross-platform. There's very few organizations that are trying to put the cross-platform together, but WebXR seems to be the coming standard, hopefully, or possibly. So yeah, that's what I see. Is I think that everything should move more cross-platform because I'm interested in all sorts of people to be able to connect together. But I also think that, like you said, there needs to be more lists and more calendars showing all the different events that people can tune into, both if they want to have experience just in a small amount of people, like a spatial where people are just communicating with a pair of glasses, or you have a whole crowd of people in the VR. I'm only seeing very sporadically, here's an event here in a week or two, here's an event here in 2 weeks or two, not much details on that. So I'm going to probably put together
Either that or they just pop up on a moment's notice and you're like, oh, I missed that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there's definitely a way to communicate, how to connect, what device you need and all that. I think there'd be a great opportunity for someone to build a website on that. So now to finish up on the
Another thing to talk about when we're off this, but go ahead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's going to be a big one because I'm seeing these come up over and over again right now, very sporadically, and I want to connect and attend, but do I have the right device and how am I going to connect? So I just want to make an easier ramp up into all that. So right here, just to get back to these Nreal glasses and why I like them so much. So what Nreal's done is they have basically two Sony OLED screens, and the screens sit on top inside the glasses. The feel, it's kind of like very soft rubber, but it doesn't have that stickiness or tack on it. It's just this very nice surface contact here on it is black here. It's very smooth type of a plastic polymer, but they basically put these two OLED screens up here on the top. I think they sit like that, and then all they do is reflect down and then they bounce into your eyes, and it's very, very thin here.
It's the same technology as Magic Leap using like a mirror or something.
No, it's really
a lot of vents on top, because that like the air vents on top are key. Like how thick are they? I can't really see.
It's really, really, see there really are no air vents on top. It's just plastic. And it's just super thin. I mean, it's
I want to detach that. Yeah. I just want to see what's going on there.
I mean, these are crazy. I just love these things.
How much are they? They are really cheap, right?
Do you use your phone or do you use the puck?
For now, I use the puck. So how it works is you turn the puck on, and then you you plug the glass in. Then what happens is the Nreal interface comes up. Now that interface is just like an app that is on the Android phone that's on that Android operating system. I call it a phone, but it's kind of like a tablet or a phone without a screen. The compute unit basically here. And you plug this in, and then what you get the puck. What happens is the Nreal interface screen comes up, and there's really only like 4 icons. And then you use the controller, and it has the pointer, and then you go to whichever icon you want. You click the pointer there, and then it brings you the experience. Now they only have like 4 different rooms you can basically go into. So you can go into one. There's this head. And it shows you then the anatomy and the skull, but it's extremely vivid and lifelike. There's another one where there's a cat, and then the cat appears, and then the cat moves around, and the cat jumps on you. And it's not really artificial intelligence, but there's some sort of mixed reality in there, because if you move your hands around or do certain things, the cat will respond. And the cat is really
We need more of the cat. The cat was the selling point for me, because the cat's in 3D. Most of the stuff that they were demoing was 2D. And it's like, I'm not going to wear AR glasses to experience 2D. I can do that with a nice clean monitor. But with the cat, I was like, show me more of the cat. And they were like, nah, that's just all we got.
Yeah. So I went in, January 2020 to CES. And when I went there, they had a ton of people there. And, I think they had over 20,000 people go through the booth, at least they said. And also, so I went and I did their experience. So when I did it, it was like a zombie game, basically. It was like one of their prototype games. It was like a zombie game. And someone was, the wall became kind of colored. And then I think zombies came at you and you shot them or something. I don't even really remember that game. But the game, it was kind of simplistic and basic. So you go onto these, and I'm trying to get it good with the green screen behind me. So with these, it's a little different. There's these 3-4 small experiences, just kind of get you into seeing what you can do. So what I'm going to finish up just for a minute with the hardware here, and then go a little more into the development now. So basically what they're doing is, it looks like they've got these 2 Sony OLED screens on the top. And Sony makes incredible products, and the organic LEDs, little OLEDs, are extremely small. I have a few of those that I'm working with the Raspberry Pi, just with little small interfaces for different HUDs and augmented reality interfaces that I'm just building on the side. But the reason why it's so clear is because of that Sony OLED, and then bouncing and then into your eyes. It's just so vivid and real. The HoloLens and the Magic Leap has this experience where it's very usually transparent and ghost-like, and like a Princess Leia and R2-D2. Now, I mean, that's great, but it just has that, it's just too holographic, and you can kind of see the dots on the, it's not dots, but it's kind of, it's more transparent and see-through and strangely pixelated when you look at it. And with this, you're seeing the colors much clearer, brighter, more vivid, non-holographic. So that's why I kind of prefer these more, is because the screen resolution and the quality and the color quality is just, it's light years better, because it's a whole different system and look that's coming in your eyes. So that's one reason why it's very different. So you have the screen basically on top that are coming in. You have a camera. It's a camera or 2 here, and I think out here you've got, or these may be the cameras, and then you have the mapping of the infrared basically with the SLAM. Then you have the spatial audio, and then you have the cord here, which is USB-C. Now, most everyone loved this, and there's a guy, Carl Gutag, and he's like an optical engineer that does reviews of products, and he knows how to tear things down and really kind of does a lot of critical feedback, and which is good. And he really ripped to shreds, HoloLens and Magic Leap. And the only real thing that he didn't like about these glasses, they call it, I guess, the bird bath optics, but the only thing he really wanted, that a lot of people wanted, is they just wanted the USB-C cord here on the end, and they also wanted it on the glasses here, because then you could get a longer USB-C cord and you could unplug the USB-C here from the glasses. Now, of course, they've made numerous prototypes of this, and something like they show on the website 500 or 600 or 700 versions to get to this beautiful form factor. But, it won't be that hard for them to add in change that to USB-C so that the cord that's probably just a cost factor. And then, I envision things far out, and so these being this small and this comfortable, this light, I could see the second to third version in 2022, 2023, where the whole phone, the whole Android operating system would be in, say, Snapdragon and a new compute unit somewhere on this device, and then even 5G. So you won't even need the phone soon. Now, so Dominique, just to let everybody know, like she asked, so these are available. A lot of people, so the timeline is the Magic Leap in 2018 in August came out with their glasses. Then it only took about a couple months till about October where Nreal announced.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah, so they came in right after, but a lot of people really didn't see it that much. However, they did a very smart thing, and Nreal is that they then went to CES of 2019. So I've been doing CES for over 20 years as invited media, press, and a lot of people will go in, but I know how to do CES because I've been doing it so long. So, I come in on the Saturday before CES. CES usually starts like on Tuesday, so I come in on Saturday, and then the first big conference is an analyst event where they go over all the future technology. I filmed that this year. And then right after that, they move into the CES Unveiled. CES Unveiled's really incredible. So it was all in the Mandalay Bay this year. So it's a gigantic room, right? I still haven't even shown the video, but it's going to be hilarious when I show this video because it's really funny. So go in this room, and it's just rows and rows and rows of innovation, and then all the walls innovation on every edge of the whole gigantic room. So I get in this room, and of course, I'm the kind of guy that wants to show everybody all the cool stuff. So I get in there and I start filming each booth one at a time. But the problem is, there were over 300 or 400 booths there, and you only had from like 7 p.m. to like 9 p.m. to do it. So first I would go in the one booth, and I'd say, okay, tell me about your product, blah, blah, blah. And by the time I got through like one row, it was, okay, you got 1 minute. You got 1 minute. Tell me about this thing. You got 30 seconds, man. Tell me what is this? What does it do? What's the pitch? Because there's just so many hundreds of incredible electronic devices that you just couldn't capture all this stuff in 2 hours. So I made like this 3-4 hour video when I was in there, which I haven't even released yet. And a lot of these products still no one has even seen. What was really amazing about CES also was that there were many, many French innovators. So I was very surprised how almost half of one whole section was all innovators from France or Paris. I really didn't think there was going to be that many augmented reality and that many engineers and people working on consumer electronics and innovations that came out of France. So that was one thing that was very surprising. France is dominating technology. And then, of course, Germany and Tokyo, Japan, Korea is really doing the most innovation out there, and especially in the robotics. They were dominating the whole floor and the convention on the robotics side with many robotic arms, robotic coffee makers, all sorts of industrial robots. And the great thing is that the price is coming down. So all these things were far out of reach of any kind of normal user, consumer, developer just a few years ago. But now they're coming in. So they have a full Korean, it's a whole robotic arm that can make coffee and everything, completely professional industrial arm of a robot. And you can buy that now for like $30,000. And I mean, to me, I mean, that's just unbelievable. So you could have two arms, $30,000 robot arms that are like the best in engineering you can get for industrial robots. And you could open up like a coffee shop and you could have like that be the barista. And I mean, I think that would be really cool and innovative. You know, people go and then they see the robot make their coffee. Like I did a film of it, it's on my YouTube. But I mean, these kind of robots, these service robots are going to really start growing soon. And then interacting with robots at retail, that's all going to be really accelerating fast. But then I saw that there are even, well, there were a few in some small aisles. There's a guy that was making almost very good quality industrial robot arms down that can bring it down to the $10,000 range. So my next big thing I really want to get is I want to get at least one good robot arm, or at least one good robotic arm, because you know then you have so much you can do with that. So these, yeah.
Any of the exoskeleton demos that they had?
Say again?
Did you try any of the exoskeleton demos that they had? Because there were a lot of exoskeleton, like full, not just robotic arms, like entire robotic bodies that you could wear and lift things.
Yeah, there was so much. I really just did a big run of the floor at the convention center. So I saw a few cool things, but I actually didn't really even see the suits there. I did see the drones where they have the drone swarm for doing like fireworks and LED light shows and stuff. There's a lot of really crazy, unique stuff there. In the innovation,
like Sigourney Weaver and aliens lifting like, you know, human forklifts. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, there was just so much there. That I kind of missed. But I was in the whole robotics section. I mean, I like the stuff like the robots playing the ping pong and all that. But just to finish up on that line, there really was none of that in the innovations. It's mostly just smaller stuff in the innovations, but there were just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of innovators. France had a huge domination in there. Of course, Germany's huge domination in a lot of those innovative products. When I went, the first actual thing before everything, I think, was the first. Actually, I missed saying that. There was the first one, which was the total first welcome preview. That's really the analyst. Then they had a second one, which they kind of didn't have a long time ago, which was kind of a state of the future and going into the future, different industries. And then they brought you into the unveiled, which was the 400 vendors showing off all the innovation and the innovation awards. But stepping back, because I didn't mention that, when you went into that first conference at CES, it was funny that the themes, the main theme of the future of CES that they were really pushing this year was baby and sleep technology. And then fitness was a big thing too. But they were really talking, the whole first part of it was all about new babies and parents and their babies and sensors and devices to help the babies sleep and all sorts of things that have to do with consumer electronics and babies. They were talking about that like crazy. That was the whole first part of it. And then the whole main half, second half was all about sleep apps, ways to help you sleep better. And that was interesting because then when I went into the innovation, there were a lot of Chinese companies that had sort of EEG headset devices, which I'm very interested in also. because the next step is going to be mind control, even though that's the next big step for mankind is going to be the mind control. Like in the 60s or the late 60s or the early 70s, they had the first Star Trek movie, the Star Trek TV show, then Star Trek TV show, and the brain people communicate from mind to mind. And of course, Elon Musk is doing the Nreal. He's saying it's within 1 year. They're going to be connecting the pipeline from the internet into your brain through the small surgery where they tap into the skull and they put the wires in. But I mean, what I saw, so to talk a little more about that, what I saw at the innovation, where there were a good few companies that actually had a band that put over your head, like a little headband, but like kind of a metal headband, and it was to capture the EEG brainwaves for mood, to help you with your mood, to help you with concentration. And these apps have been out for a little while. However, I've been watching a little news coming out of China, and I'm just on a side. So right now I'm in the Intel AI Machine Learning Edge Nano degree. I got a scholarship. So I'm doing a lot with machine learning. I've been doing a lot with machine learning for a while now. But back in December, Intel opened up a course, basically a scholarship, they called it, to Udacity. And all that was really an 11-hour course. I finished the coursing before they officially started the whole program, but then they wanted everyone to help out in the Slack chat rooms. They had like 3,000 people in this private Slack chat, and then all the people were completing this 11-hour course in Intel AI on the edge. And what that really involves is Intel OpenVINO. So Intel OpenVINO is a toolkit for doing machine learning production inference on the edge. And so
Hey, Cliff, yeah. I gotta go. I just wanted to say thanks and bye, and I'd love to chat some more. Great session.
Oh yeah. Great. Ben's a great guy. Everybody should connect with Ben. He's got a lot of intelligence and a lot of insight. It's a great guy. Yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll talk soon, Ben.
Thanks. All right, take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so it's amazing. A lot of great people. Ben has a lot of insight. We met at CES this year, and he got there. See, what happened was Nreal came out with their glasses, and they showed at CES 2019, and then they showed again at CES 2020. And what was cool was that these other two companies from China, at least two of them, in 2020, a year after they first showed these, so just a few months back, two other entire companies from China were making glasses that were pretty much based on this technology. And they were also in booths that were right next to Nreal.
What's the name of those companies?
I think he said Pacific Future was one of them. You'll have to check. I can show you that later if any of you guys want to check that out. There were basically two companies that were coming out with glasses that were almost identical to the Nreal. Now the problem is that I heard just through the grapevine, not sure if it's true or not, is that the glasses may have less expensive parts than the Nreal. And then also I kind of go with the company where I research them, I see, I hear the feedback, and then I go with what seems to be the best solution. And so Nreal has been developing this for a long time, and they were the first out of the gate right after Magic Leap. And then they held that with the glasses, and they went into CES 2019, so that's 2 years ago. So the key was getting into CES.
What's the pros and cons, like a Magic Leap and compared to Nreal? What's good? Like which one is good at which?
So what it is that if you want to have an ecosystem, if you want to have apps that are already there and develop like 20 or 30 apps and some different cool spatial computing apps, that are pretty much all free. And you want to have really rich spatial audio because it's stronger. And you want to have, say, a closed ecosystem. You want to sell an app, particularly just in their app store with just their glasses. Then that's kind of why you may want to go with Magic Leap. Why I prefer the Nreal is that I'm a guy that's for the people. I like to help the people. I want to get the new technology into the hands of the people and the normal consumers, the normal people, not just the developers, or have this be like a futuristic tool. And so the Nreal is the only company that's really moving the price point and the quality to the people right now. So these glasses are $11.99 right now.
But I couldn't really order it. It's like a pre-order, and another one is like there's no button. So what should I do if I wanna play around with it? And did you get the consumer kit or the developer kit? Because they are different.
Yeah. So I'll run you through all that real quick. So what happened, the timeline real quick, is that Nreal came out with the glasses right after Magic Leap. They came out with them around October. They announced them in 2018. Then they went to CES in January 2019, and they had a big showing. So a lot of people saw them. And then being in CES, you know, that's a very prestigious and important place to be for electronics. So then what happened was near the end of 2019, around October, November, they started the pre-release of the pre-ordering of the device at $11.99 for the full developer kit. It's called the Nreal Lite Developer Kit. You get the glasses, you get the compute unit with the Snapdragon chip, and you get the puck. But then you also get a really beautiful case, which is over here, but it's too far to get. But you get a really incredible hard case. And Magic Leap, they didn't come out with the hard case that gave you that with the device. So for $11.99, you're getting the glasses, the controller, the compute unit, and a beautiful case, right?
And how can you develop Nreal? Use Unity?
Yep. So what you do is, so I'm telling everybody, this is very important because by the end of the year, I'm sure the talk is, see, so I go to a lot of events and I talk to a lot of people and I know a lot of people. So I talk to a lot of Qualcomm people and I'm talking to the Nreal people and I'm hearing about what could happen. And Deutsche Telekom is, they have a big investment in T-Mobile. They're kind of the German European arm of T-Mobile. And they did a hackathon, one of the first hackathons with Nreal. And so that was over a year ago. And then they've also developed some sort of, there are these companies that have a headset. They have like a hard hat for construction people or people that do telecommunications in the field. They have like a hard hat, and then they have the glasses attached to the hard hat. Company did that with HoloLens, company did that with Magic Leap, and they're actually doing that with Nreal now. So right now, you can actually develop with the Nreal glasses, and you don't even need to have them. So what you do is you go to Nreal AI, Nreal.ai, and you go to the developer section, and then you can download their Unity plugin, the SDK, which is basically, it's just a simple Unity plugin. And then what you do is you open up Unity, and then you add in the plugin. Now I'm telling you, Magic Leap, it's a whole different story, man. With Magic Leap, you have to change a ton of settings on the side and switch it to the Magic Leap platform. But then the big problem is, see, so every time, I was talking about this before, but then I didn't finish it. Every time you go into Magic Leap and you start developing, what happens is they change the operating system. And so that changes the Android manifest a lot of times. So people will go, oh, I was just developing, or now it doesn't work, or I'm trying to develop and now it doesn't work. What do I have to do? And the problem is they have to go into the settings in Unity and they have to change it to the newer Android manifest, because the Android
I just went to Nreal, like a developer, and it says like, oh, to find out more, please follow Nreal on Twitter. And they didn't have like the introduction for how to develop it?
Let's see. You go to developer,
Yeah.
and then you go to developer.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
If I
what they've
wanna
done
make
is
some cool stuff.
it just says May 18th. So what they're doing is I guess I haven't seen this because I haven't been here in a couple of weeks, but I was just here a couple of weeks ago. So what they're doing is they're just they're redoing their whole developer website. Basically, they have that's a whole developer section.
So
Now,
basically, I can go to Unity and I think asset store or like a manager, like package manager, and find out Nreal or.
I'll tell you what you need to do. All you need to do is you open up Unity, and then I can send it to you. There's just one Unity package, the SDK, and all you do is just drop the Unity into the assets folder, and then there's going to be a few examples.
Oh, can you do a little demo for everyone?
I can't do it now because I just don't have all that set up, and I have to get the screen going in Unity and everything. But I'm telling you, it's like so simple.
Yeah.
Basically, you got a Unity SDK package, like everybody's got a Unity SDK. This is one file, and then all you do is go and you drop that in the assets folder, and then it imports everything in, and then you have your scenes, and so it's going to have like 3 or 4 basic scenes. Now, what's really cool is that it has an emulator for the controller. So when you open up the screen, so there's one screen that's a video capture screen. So when I have this app going in the glasses, there's like an icon over on the left with an image of what you're seeing, and then you press it or you click it, and then what happens is it starts recording and doing the screen capture and records the screen. And then it just saves that screen capture in 1080p on the device, basically. But it's really, really simple because all it is just developing in Unity for Android. That's the cool thing.
So right now I use the AR Foundation in Unity, and I think it's really convenient. You just use AR Foundation, and you can export to nearly everything.
Exactly. Yeah, Unity's really changed a lot with the AR Foundation, and that's all integrated into this basically. Yeah. So what I did was I opened up Unity and I brought in that SDK, the package, and it has 3 or 4 samples. The first sample is just very simple. It has the logo in 3D. And then there's another one where it shows you when you press the controllers, it shows you how it's being mapped. And then there's another one that allows you to move an object or swivel an object around, all sorts of things. So the easiest way to get in is to be developing ahead of time is just to get the SDK, which is just a Unity package.
Oh, do you have URL?
It's in the Nreal developers.
But right now,
but they don't have it. So I have it, and I can just send it to you privately, just if you want to check it out. But like anything, people go through major updates. So like right now, this has only been down for like a couple days. They're doing a huge major update, probably re-updating everything. It's pretty much, you probably have been in the Magic Leap Education Center, but it's almost identical to that. So they go over the device, they go over all the features of the device, they go over all what the device can do, and then they go through the samples, they go through how you develop with Unity, how you set up the project and everything. However, there are like 2 guys in China who are American or they're English or something. They're not Chinese, but they're over in China. They speak fluent English and everything. They're like Americans or English, and or from Europe. And there are these 2 guys that I know that are in China, and all they are doing is Nreal development. And so there are 2 or 3 incredible videos on YouTube. They'll show you the whole process of getting ramped up on Unity to be developing. So I would suggest everybody goes and they go right to YouTube and start looking through the video on how you develop that.
So they have videos.
2 or 3 guys have done their own personal tutorials on how to. Yeah, so just type in Nreal on YouTube, and there are 2 or 3 very, very detailed on how to start, to finish, how to load the app, and everything. So I just didn't see the Nreal developer sections down on their main site. Now, just to run back on the high level. So what happened is around October, November, Nreal started doing the pre-orders. That was October, November of 2019. Then what happened is a lot of people pre-ordered. Of course, it's coming from China and it's completely brand new, so it takes a little time to get that all ramped up and to send it out to people. And they had waves of people that came in to buy. So the first wave was around October, November. What happened was that they were able to start sending out the units around January, around December, January. But then what happened was, with China and the whole virus and everything, that all the factories got shut down, right after the Chinese New Year and all that. And so you can't really blame Nreal for not being able to ship out the devices because it's a global pandemic. So, I don't hold them responsible for that. So there's a little delay in getting those first units out to the developers. They got some out to the first wave of developers that bought, but then the virus hit, and so all the factories in China got shut down. So what can they do? But what they did was they're very smart, and they pivoted. And Chi Zhu, I think, is the guy who's running everything. But basically, he decided to create his own factory so that they wouldn't have any problems with the people that they were working with. So they have been able from then to now to build their own entire factory in China. So they don't have to rely on other factories to build their device. So that's huge that they have it all together with their own control of their own factory in order to build the devices. So that's allowing them to now ramp up the production again. And so they have said that they are getting the units out now. So the unit it's $11.99 for now, and it's still on the pre-order. But I mean, personally, I'd get on this right now. Okay, it's just so good. It's too good not to get on this thing for $11.99. The Magic Leap's $2,000. The HoloLens is $3,500. You can't even really get a HoloLens for $3,500. I'm selling them for a little higher than $3,500, and you're getting a special system with that. So I've sold a lot of HoloLenses. Microsoft, they said it was out, HoloLens 2, in like last October. Nobody could get it in November, December. No normal developers could get it. This great guy, Tony, who I met at Magic Leap, who does a lot of incredible development, he lives in Seattle. He couldn't even get a unit. They wouldn't give him sell him one unit, not even sell him a unit in December and January. Very upsetting. And so then through the grapevine, it was like, oh, well, you may not be able to get a HoloLens 2 till like June or July of this year, 6 months later. And then a lot of people were on the grapevine saying that there's a little problem with the technology and the optics. And so they kind of made this second version, but they're only selling them to limited amounts and to higher level Microsoft partners. So then I was hearing, oh, well, so like Toyota would buy, say, 30 or 40 HoloLens 2 units. And this is how I was hearing how they're distributing this over the last few months. So a normal developer that wants to develop on a HoloLens 2, they may not even be able to develop on that because they may not even be able to get that till June or July, maybe not even September. It's a rather hard device to get. Now, if you can't, you have to buy 30 of them just in order to get them, so you have to be like a big company. But I was very lucky that I figured out how to get single units, but at first I could only buy 3 units at a time. So I have an in where I can get as many HoloLenses as you want now, and now finally I can get units, you get 1 or 2 or 3. For most people that I sell the HoloLens to, they usually will get 2 or they'll get 3 of them because they want to develop and they want to do it as a communication tool. So they want to have at least 2 units so that people can connect to each other with the devices for the development and the prototyping. So if anybody wants a HoloLens, I leave like 1 post on my LinkedIn saying, hey, I've got HoloLens.
Yeah, you can post on the Discord.
You just contact me on my LinkedIn later. But I can sell you the HoloLens and just get it right to you, and it's really hard to get still. And so I've had developers get 2, 3 in many different countries. It's only shipping to very few countries. It's like US, UK, Germany, there's just a couple more. But if you have an office in one of those countries and you're outside of those countries, it's possible you can ship it to the office. Guy from Korea, a doctor from Korea, PhD wanted one, and he has developers in Los Angeles, so we're going to send them to the developers in Los Angeles. So to finish up on the Nreal, $11.99 for the Nreal glasses. You get the case, the package, the compute unit with the Qualcomm Snapdragon chip. And I mean, it's just incredible. But what's even better is that soon you're going to be able to just buy the glasses themselves for $4.99. So you can buy the glasses for $4.99. Now what's happening is that I can actually use the glasses with a smartphone. Fortunately now, you have to have a 5G smartphone. I've got a plane flying over because I'm in Santa Monica Airport pathway here on the plane. But these glasses, okay, you got HoloLens 3500 plus, you got hard to get, you got Magically 2000, 2200, 2500, but then if you want to get the developer kit, which really only means that you got a warranty and you could take it back a couple times, that's it was like 3100 or 3200 for the Magically. That's a lot of money. And then you've got these $11.99 for everything. But by Christmas or within the next few months, you should be able to get just the glasses for $4.99. So you have the glasses for $4.99, and then you would just basically attach the USB-C to any 5G phone for now. So AT&T a year ago last summer had their Shape developer conference, and I'm in the developer program. I was the first person. I was one of the first people that won a award for using Magic Leap in the entire world. That's guaranteed. Back in October, so I got the glass in August of 2018, and then in October of 2018, they had the first Magic Leap hackathon, which was in San Francisco. So I usually don't go up there, but I went all the way up to San Francisco to do that hackathon that weekend. What I developed was a dance app. It's a really cool app, and I think it should be developed more. But like anything, you want to get funding, and it takes a long time to develop a really great product. But what I had was I made this app in Unity called a dance app, basically. So what I do is I have it, so when you put on the glasses, it says, find a place in the room where you want to put the dance instructor. So then with your hand gesture, you can actually place, there's a 3-dimensional grid cursor, and you look around the room for the surface, and then it places the character, which was a dance instructor. So I had 3 different dance instructors, which were made out of, they were made in Mixamo, basically. I think it's Mixamo.
Oh, Mixamo, it's the animation.
It's funny, Mixamo is really funny because it's a company made Mixamo, and that allows you to bring up all sorts of different 3D characters that are rigged. And then you bring that into this emulator screen, and then you could choose hundreds of different poses, dance moves. They can run, they can jump, and just the different animation actions. And you could bring in all those. So when I saw those, they have hip hop, a number of them, like 10 different hip hop moves, and they had salsa, and they had samba. So I could take a character And then I could make it dance in like 5 different salsa moves, 5 different hip hop moves, and 5 different salsa moves and samba. So I thought that would be perfect. So you put the glasses on, and up comes this virtual instructor, and then you can make that instructor any size. So you could have the guy, the 3D avatar small, or you could have it big. And then what it does is with the head pose, when you look at the instructor, then it activates and it starts doing the move of the dance move. So you can learn the dance move. But then you can place the salsa, the samba, and the hip hop in the 3 of them in the room. And then with the head pose, the way you're looking, it's activating each one of those animations. So I thought, and I still think this is a great thing for the future, is these kind of dance or instructional videos with these avatars that are teaching you things through augmented reality and mixed reality where they're right in the room. So I have that all created, the whole prototype in the shell, but I want to develop it out more with more dancers and a little better of an interface, and then you get into the App Store and all that. When I was at the Shape thing, there was a guy that had at Warner Brothers Studios, they were showing a lot of Magic Leap demos. The guy had a little boxing app, so you could box with a virtual boxer, and it was just like a sports app. And people were like, "Oh no, no one's going to want to use your dance app and wear these magically big glasses on." And this, they are going to want to use that. It's when the glasses get smaller and smaller, people are going to want to have dance instruction, fitness instruction, yoga instruction, virtual instructors, and mixed reality right in their houses and everything. So that is going to be really big in the future. So to finish up the thing on the Nreal, so we've got this unit, and it's $11.99 in the pre-order, where you get everything in an incredible case to hold it in, which they don't even give you a case with Magic Leap. You got to buy that extra. And you also have to buy a little hub with Magic Leap, which is like a dongle with a 3-way connection in order to be able to develop on a computer and keep the power going. So you have to have power going to the unit, but then you're taking the USB to develop and going into the computer to be able to develop on. But you can then go to Wi-Fi, but you still have to keep the unit plugged in, or the battery. It does have pretty long battery life, around 2 hours. However, with the Nreal, you have, it's just amazing. I just love the Nreal for so many reasons. So the main reason is that it's going to be coming out for $4.99 for just the headset. That may take the summer or September or October. We're still so far away, but you can be developing on it now with Unity, be making the apps. You've got the emulator of the controller. You can make the Unity apps. But when this comes out for $4.99, and the word on the street is that they're going to come out with a carrier, so that means someone like Verizon, or it could be T-Mobile, I would say, because Deutsche Telekom's doing a lot with them. Let's say T-Mobile in September or ramping up near to Christmas starts selling these for $4.99, and you can just plug it in to any 5G phone that they're selling. So AT&T gave me 2 really great things a year ago, last summer. They gave me a set-top box, which was called AT&T TV. It's a very thin little set-top cable box, and it's internet-based. So you plug an internet router, Ethernet cord into the little box, and then all it was a DirecTV set-top box. So if you're watching DirecTV, it's the same DirecTV channels, but it's this very thin little modem, little AT&T TV computer box, basically. So that would come in, and then I'd watch it. But that was in beta, so I couldn't even show what the box looked like. And then I think eventually they rolled that out. But the other thing I got was I got the first Samsung Galaxy S10 5G. I have the absolute first one of those. So they gave 100 developers at the Warner Brothers Shape Conference everybody got one of those. So I got one of those. It's the Samsung that has the four cameras going horizontal. Right after that, they came out with the more consumer version that they're selling, where it has the four that are vertical. And then they also have a stylus with it now. So my device doesn't have a stylus. But there are a couple versions of that. And the one that I have is I have the Samsung Galaxy S10 with the 5G, but I also have the Qualcomm Snapdragon chip, which is crucial. So I'm really happy I have that, because this device has the Qualcomm Snapdragon chip. And I love Qualcomm, and I love Intel for their innovation and their computer innovation, but Qualcomm for mobile innovation, they're just dominating all mobile. And so see, having that Qualcomm Snapdragon chip inside the Samsung 5G phone, that means that I can use the phone as the compute unit, basically. So I don't really need this anymore. I can basically just have the glasses tethered down into a phone that has a Qualcomm Snapdragon chip. Now the roadmap, which is even better, is that the way that Nreal's planning it is that the next coming soon, they're working on it to make that the glasses will not even need not even need a Snapdragon chip, so that anyone with different new version cell phones soon will be able to just buy the $499 glasses and then plug it into almost any brand new cell phone. That's even better, because you won't need to just have a Snapdragon chipped phone in order to plug in. Now, there was a hackathon at MIT a few months ago that Nreal was a part of, and there is in the Unity package now, they have a way to turn the app that you create into an app that's branded, so that you have the app you're looking at the phone, and it's branded where it has you can put your logo on it, so you can customize and brand the experience of the app personal to you, which is really cool, I think, because then you can make your own app. It's custom. You have your logos and stuff on the top and all your graphics. But then that app and on that phone, that's the whole compute device. And that's how you'd run the app. And you wouldn't need it to use this compute stick, this compute unit. You just have the phone. So to bring that down to that price point of $499 or even less, because some of their competitors are now saying that they're even going to be able to do it for $399. The only thing about the two competitors that I saw at CS, they positioned themselves right next to Nreal in the booths. And they did have a couple of cool things where the glasses were a little different, where they actually, the design was different, and then they were more like glasses, the look of the design, and then they had 2 or 3 different versions of glasses. It's not just the single version, but I think these come in a few different colors, like blue and red and black. But what I did hear is they are the parts and the quality of the parts may not be as good as the quality of the parts the Nreal. So I go with the people that seem to have the best trajectory, the people that are really doing things right. The one biggest thing is that, see, augmented realities had a bad rap for many years. It all really started with Google Glass. Google Glass came out and marketed it really bad. People are calling them glass holes. People are walking around with them and causing problems. Kind of this person, not to be named, this person went into a bar in San Francisco with the glasses on, got into a huge fight with the people in the bar. I wore these around Santa Barbara in 2013, 2014. nobody even noticed them because they had no idea there's a camera, a video camera, live streaming.
Yeah, it looks like a cyborg.
Yeah, you look like a cyborg. But actually, it's discreet enough where people just won't even notice the prism. However, it got this bad press. This is the problem. Is I'm in the marketing and advertising for many years. You don't want to have this bad press. So this bad press started perpetuating, and then what that does is that pushes the whole industry years further into the adoption of people using the device. And so, unfortunately, because of the way that Google marketed this whole thing, it didn't catch on to the consumer. There's a lot of privacy issues, the cameras. People get very scared of this kind of devices in public, especially with like privacy issues, having a camera on you and everything. So then we go years later to Magic Leap. And unfortunately, Magic Leap, I mean, they say that you can't blame Roni and them because they didn't expect that the pre-visionary videos that they put out to have such an effect on the people that they wanted this perfect mixed reality, augmented reality experience, which is almost impossible to achieve. People want, teleportation, where they want crazy stuff like they want just perfect augmented reality, perfect holograms, absolute perfect, the look, everything has to be perfect, just like a sci-fi movie, and it's just not there yet. But hold on one sec, I just have to have a drink.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I just had to have a drink of water.
Okay, I was like,
for 2 hours. I've been talking for 2 hours here.
Totally understand. So, have you ever developed any AR app in Nreal or Magic Leap or like other AR or mixed reality? I know Windows always make everything so complicated. Even VR headset that say mixed reality, but actually it's VR.
So Magic Leap has about 30 or 40 starter apps that then I've morphed into making apps into, and then the one main app that I did was the dance app, which is basically a completed app. Nreal, kind of the same thing. I got it in about 2 months ago at CES in January, and then I've used all their starter apps, and I've actually saved the app from Unity and then loaded it into the headset so that I can view it. A couple funny things about Nreal. When I first got it, a couple confusing things. The controller, the light ray is a little off on the position of the controller, but I see that on Magic Leap and other devices, so that's not a big deal. The other thing that was interesting was a few times that I would put the glasses on, you would actually see the Android interface, and it's really not supposed to do that. It's supposed to go right into an Nreal interface that has like 4 icons of the 4 samples. But a couple times when I turn it on, it didn't go to that screen, and by accident went back to the main Android screen, which is just like an Android screen that you get on your phone. So, but then for some reason that little glitch just went away. So to develop on the Nreal, this is why I like it so much. It's just incredible. All you have to do is open up Unity. You've got the templates there, all the sample code. You can start off with that. You could change out the Nreal logo or the animation. You could put your own animation in there. You could go to the sample app where you would grab an object and move it, and then you just switch it up with your own. So then all you got to do is save that as an Android app. That's the beauty of it all. And it's an APK. Then you just save that APK. Then all you have to do is plug in this compute unit into, actually works in Windows or Macintosh. It's a little easier on Windows. It's Android based. So I would plug that into my HPZ book. And then what you do is you need that SCRPCY, the Scrappy emulator. And then what will happen is when you click on the emulator, it opens up a screen which is just like an Android screen that you'd see on a phone, but that's the device. And then there's a shared folder. And all you do is you just drag and drop the APK, the app you created, into the shared folder, drag and drop, and that's it. It's in there. And then you unplug the compute unit and you plug in the glasses into the compute unit, and then up will come the main screen, the main interface with the few icons that they have of their apps, and then your app's going to be there too. Now, the reason why I like this so much is that it's just too proprietary Magic Leap, where it's this whole closed Android system and the ecosystem's all closed. It's all locked down. A lot of the hardware is locked down. You just can't go deep into Magic Leap, as deep as a lot of people want to go into the C++ and all that. But this is a dream and a beauty for developers, because all it is Android and Unity. That's all it is a simple APK app that you're using as a spatial computing and mixed reality app, but you're then dropping it into, just drag and drop this app into this compute unit, and it's all done. And then you can view it, or you can send that app to somebody and they can just load it into their computer. And what they're doing now is they're starting to showcase developers. So people are starting to develop and make games, and they're really interested in getting those to be able to show people, the consumers and business, of the first creators now that are making these apps for Nreal. And so all these new developers that are just starting to make games and make different apps, communication, productivity apps, business apps, they're sending those over to Nreal, and Nreal is starting to showcase all these different developers' works, which is really great. And then the next step will be to have the Nreal App Store, I would say, and that could be maybe what they're also bringing into the whole developer realm here.
Oh, Cliff, Steve W has 2 questions on Nreal glasses. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Go first?
Wider frames for people with larger heads. Yeah. So the thing is that my head's pretty wide, but the thing is, it's just one size of width of the glasses. However, the big difference is in the nose bridge. So they are really nice, and they give you like 5 different nose bridges, and they're this kind of rubber silicone with a magnet, kind of a little similar but a little different than Magic Leap. So it definitely helps you do have a better fit on the face by having the nose bridge. But for now, it just does seem to be one size fits all with the glasses. When I first got them, I didn't attach the nose bridge, and so I put them on, and I was like, oh well, they do come out. So see. They have, you can feel it here. It's really cool. They have like a spring loaded hinge on both ends. So see, you do have like 2 inches of play, basically.
How about people who has a small face like me? It will start.
It comes in. It starts out real thin, and then it can widen out. So I think almost any head it'll work on. But then the key was the nose bridge. So see, when I first got it, I didn't put the nose bridge on, and it went right down on my nose, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, how this isn't going to fit on the head right.
Yeah.
And it really felt weird. And then I was like, oh, you have to have the little nose bridge. And once you got the nose bridge, and then they give you like 4 or 5 of them. So.
Yeah, that's so true. You know what? When because I have an Asian face. So yeah, so my nose, everything is smaller and a little flat. And then I remember I tried two. One is Vive, like HTC Vive. Another one is Oculus, because Oculus was made in America, like Orange County, right? And then HTC Vive was made in Taiwan, like more like Asian. So when I try those two headsets, Oculus, I don't know why it's keeping falling off. Yeah, it's weird. I know I haven't heard of anybody, my friend, never complain about Oculus, but I complain a lot. But it fits perfectly. So I'm wondering, because Nreal was, you know, more like an Asian background, they made like the glasses. And when I try like the Magic Leap, because if you want to buy Magic Leap, you have to go to their website, right? They have like you put your credit card, whatever, and measure whatever. So they are trying to fit perfectly for your head, and they have like different sizes. So for Nreal, it's like one size for everybody, right?
Yeah, with Magic Leap, so they have this. So yeah, they have the they have the credit card. It's kind of the interpupillar distance to see how it fits with the eye distance to the eyes. If you're like a 1 or a 2, and then here they have this. It's this. It comes out really big right here, so that it could fit on almost anybody's head. And then see, they have this rubber nose bridge too. That's a little magnetic nose bridge. And then also, just to let everybody know, prescription glasses. So unfortunately, a lot of people wear glasses. It's actually great for augmented reality and mixed reality, because basically half of America wears glasses. So you got 150 million people wearing glasses. So what I envision is that as the prices go down and the form factor gets better, like with these Bose AR glasses, these are $200 US, and that there are some China companies, these are $200 US, and there are some China companies that are coming out with these for about $60, but for the Bose, they're $200. Now, some people have actually replaced, they like these so much, I actually got the rose gold tints here. They're $30 more. You can get blue or rose gold. It's usually like just a gray lens. But I know there are some people that love these Bose. Every time I show somebody these Bose glasses, I'm like, hey, put these glasses on. And then they hear the music.
Oh, yeah.
No one else can hear the music around. I got to buy these. Where can I get these? I want to buy these right now. Because they just love having, it's like kind of like a spy movie where no one can hear me and I'm listening to music, or people are talking to me, or Google Assistant right in my ear, and it has a microphone. It's an incredible smart glasses here, except for there's no visual augmented reality. It's just the audio augmented reality. But there are people that actually replace these with real prescription lenses, because they love the having this. The smart glasses, they're just so great that they just use them as normal glasses. So what's going to happen is, when the price point and the form factor comes down, and Amazon's coming out with their glasses, and there's another company that was showing that they look just like normal glasses, but they have that light little smart glass display, which isn't really that great. It's just the bare bones. But what's going to happen is that as these products get smaller, then when you go to an eye doctor, you go to get your prescription glasses, they're just going to say, oh, hey, the insurance is covering the cost of the glasses. Why don't you get the augmented reality, the smart glass version? And then soon all of the people that are wearing glasses, eventually, within the next couple of years, the glasses are going to be able to start having these smart capabilities. So with Nreal, it's, they do have prescription inserts, and Magic Leap has prescription inserts. And I think Magic Leap doesn't give you the extra inserts. They're like $200 or more. And I think they give you a range of inserts, and the same thing with Nreal. And I think they actually give you one pair of prescription inserts in there. There's a different insert that you could actually put in the glasses. But a lot of people have glasses, they have problems wearing these different types of new mixed reality glasses, but these also have capability to have prescription, but you have to put the prescription into the glasses. So then yes, that was the second question. Replace the lenses with some prescription. So yeah, they do have these, they're real glass inserts that you pop in. The coolest use case for Nreal. So, I mean, you know, I just think that after using Magic Leap for 2 years, that there's just so many things that you can do with spatial computing and augmented reality and mixed reality. I mean, when I got the Magic Leap 2 years ago, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I thought this wasn't going to come till 2030, 10 more years from now, and it happened 2 years ago. I really didn't think this was going to all come out so fast. And then Nreal coming out with this version, that just blows the doors off everything. To say by Christmas, $4.99, you can get these. Now, the bigger implication is, you know, I envision no one will need television, a television screen. No one will need a monitor. No one will need a computer. Eventually, no one will need a cell phone. No one will need a keyboard. No one will need a mouse. Everyone's pushing voice. And now with the virus, you don't want to even touch money. So you want to, everything's going to be voice. Voice is going to explode. And I've been a Google partner for 15 years in many platforms. I won a Google award, was a Google Help Outs expert. And it's just amazing. My friend who 15 years ago is the Google employee, and when we first moved over from Google and they bought YouTube, he became the first Google partner managers for YouTube. I was one of the first Google YouTubers. He was the guy that got me into Google and YouTube back in 2004. So him and George Strompolis, who owned Full Screen, he then went on to found Full Screen, which then got bought by Otter and AT&T for hundreds of millions of dollars a few years ago. George Strompolis did that, but Ben Smith has been going very hard the last couple of years into voice. And so you should check out Ben Smith and his voice podcasts.
Oh, can you show us the link? Like
yeah,
URL?
You just got to type it in Ben Smith. All right, here, Ben Smith. And then do a audio, like Alexa and podcast.
Yeah,
so,
and I saw that Ryan has another question.
Yeah.
What is the?
Yeah, so I'm trying to explain that, the coolest use case. Cool. So the prevalence of the audio controlling things, so having the voice commands, and then this has the Nreal has, you know, microphone, and it has the computer vision. I mean, I just see everything moving into augmented reality and mixed realities, communicating with avatars that are in the room, digital avatar communication, networking that way, office productivity. So you'd have Post-it notes all over the wall. And then I think video is going to be huge. So as entertainment, I mean, they like to build this as, oh, you have a 6-foot Netflix screen right in front of your face. But it's more than that. Back before that, the Magic Leap, you know, I envision, okay, we're watching they have a media player that I've built on. So basically you can open up Magic Leap, and then you have a video player in front of you, and then you can make the video player as big as a wall, as big as a building, as small right in front of you. But then you have landscape apps and immersive apps in Magic Leap. That's the way they develop it. So the immersive apps are like in Unity and Nreal, where you open up an app and everything is just that one app experience. But then they have the landscape apps, but they are starting to allow you to bring in some of the landscape apps into the immersive. They're just starting to let you do that. But then they have the landscape apps, and the landscape apps are like the browser, the Helio browser, where I could develop all sorts of apps, and then I could put many apps in the same room. And Nreal's doing the same thing, but I've done it a little, it's a little more developed with Magic Leap. So see, what I envision is like, if I was a stockbroker or like a stockbroker person doing trading, I could literally in Magic Leap, I could have like 20 screens right in front of my face with all the stocks in real time. And there's a company that made this spatial computing app in Magic Leap where you can, with the 6DF controller and the ray you're casting, you can actually like click a stock and then in real time it'll show you the price, and then it has all sorts of charts and demographics. So bringing in the charting and the real-time data into the augmented reality and the mixed reality is key. But going back to entertainment, so I can envision, Magic Leap, we've got a Disney movie. So you put on your Magic Leap glasses and you have a screen. And then that's the new Disney movie. And then you can make the screen as big as small as you want. Say you have this screen over there and you place it on the wall, you make it really big. But then I could create, say in Unity, the characters that are in the movie, and then I can make them appear in the room. And then it's not augmented reality, but it's mixed reality. So then I can go and reach out and touch, pet the characters, interact with the characters in the mixed reality, in the room, in the spatial computing, and you're bringing in the 3D characters, so bringing them out of the screen. So there's so many opportunities in entertainment to have very large screen or multiple screen entertainment. And then as far as productivity and business, you can have multiple screens and post-it notes, different ways to collaborate. I've seen all these things at different hackathons, primarily with Magic Leap. But pretty much anything you could do in normal reality, any kind of business task or entertainment, you can do in the mixed reality, the augmented reality, but you're allowing to bring in all of that whole nother world into your world here. So there's an unlimited amount of use cases. That's the kind of thing that kind of upsets me about people and how they do their startups and they get their startup money, is that I don't want to buy Magic Leap, or I don't want to invest. I went to Capitol Records Hackathon, met this guy. He was like, I got to have a return on investment in 6 months in this product, man. That's why I don't want to get a Magic Leap, because nobody's going to want to buy it. There's going to be no money in the apps, or this is a long term, a few years it's going to be till it's consumer. But you can make this into any use case, okay? There are no use cases for this thing. Anything you can do in reality, you can do in the augmented reality and the mixed reality. It's even better almost. And there's just so much more you can do that you can attach this to almost any use case. That's what's so amazing. And so I think that people just really start needing to develop more for it. But I mean, what I think personally as for the coolest use case for Nreal is that when you bring the price point down to the people, where it's only going to be about $4.99 for the device, let's say by Christmas, that T-Mobile sells this in October, November, December for $4.99 at the T-Mobile store. And you can plug this into any new phone or a 5G or a Snapdragon phone, and then you have the whole mixed reality overlay. They're going to be developers then that are going to jump on this really hard, and it's going to hit the mainstream much better. And to finish the story, since we're going into 2 hours, that's why I like Nreal so much, is that I admire smart, successful business and marketing. And augmented reality has had a bad rap, and the developers, mixed reality. Augmented reality has not been moving forward in the public eye very well.
But right now it's going super well because like Snapchat, Spark
Well,
AR.
yeah, that's the mobile AR reality. Sure, the mobile AR reality is definitely going very well. Mobile AR reality, yes, the Snapchat lenses are crazy. The Facebook is great. They're inculcating and bringing in the younger generations and the millennials and the Gen Z and after that are embracing that as digital natives. But soon they're gonna want to be hands-free. What it is when I look back, you can see that it's about a 10-year gap in technology. So you got the mobile phone, and then you have that smartphone that came out, then you have the iPhone that came out. These are kind of 10-year increments. Now we're about 10 years from the iPhone coming out, but it's become a little longer of an increment. So instead of these glasses being 10 years after the smartphone, when the glasses should be very prevalent now, it's going to be about 15 years in that shift. And so, but there's going to be a time soon where the price and the size of the device and the power of the device and the 5G and the phone being in the device soon, that everything's going to change, and then soon the phone is going to go away. And I mean, it's just so detrimental to society to have this cell phone where almost 90% of the youth and people are constantly looking at their cell phone and using their cell phone 2,000 times a day, sleeping with their cell phone, and then it hurts their neck. And I mean, it's just a terrible thing, these cell phones. Thanks a lot, Steve W., for joining. And I think, yeah, Apple, when Apple comes out with their device, it's going to be more mainstream. The problem is that these companies are moving too slow. That's why these companies like Magic Leap and Nreal are really innovating, and I admire them because at least they're getting them out to the people. But the problem is if you don't get it out of the people with good press and that they're welcomed with open arms, it's not a good thing. So if you've looked at all the press over the last few years, it's just ramming down the terribleness of AR and mixed reality, and that all pushes it over years and years and years for consumer adoption. And so as much as I love Magic Leap, you know, like I said in 2018, I said I could have sold 1 million units, 1 million Magic Leap units. I would have partnered with some of these top gamers on YouTube. They have these gaming factions and these gaming teams. $2,000 wasn't that much. And I would have gotten like FaZe Clan and these gamers to embrace it, and they would have made a couple games for it. And then all their gamer friends would have bought it, and we would have sold 1 million Magic Leap units, and it would have been a big success. But unfortunately, I told them, but they decided that they wanted to focus more on a developer rollout. And then they missed CES. Not getting into CES in 2019, that was a big mistake. And then Nreal, Magic Leap has never been in CES. They've never been.
They are too big. They are too big.
No, it's that they keep it as a prototype technology. And not yet a consumer technology.
But I heard that they are doing something military, right?
Well, what happened was a couple of years ago, the Pentagon had a big, huge contract. And so Magic Leap and HoloLens applied to that contract. But then Microsoft won the contract because they have a bigger ecosystem. They have a bigger, enterprise system. They've been used by the military for so long. That's primarily why they went to Microsoft. But I mean, I'm really not happy with Microsoft HoloLens 2, or it's not even, I mean, HoloLens 1 is junk, okay? So, and the funniest thing, okay, is I'm into tech for a long time, and I got Magic Leap in 2013, and I had them through 2015 and all that, but HoloLens was very dark. They kept HoloLens that one very out of the media and out of the press, out of the developers. Very few people and developers from 2013 to 2015 had HoloLens. No one was talking about HoloLens while all this Google Glass crap was going on for years and years. And then Magic Leap came, and no one was even really talking about HoloLens then. So I went and I got a HoloLens, and it was like the night and day between the HoloLens 1 and the Magic Leap experience. HoloLens 1 just sucked crap. This thing was terrible, right? The FOV is so small. It's like that. You could barely see anything. And then they have this sun, like you open up this app with a sun, and the sun was so big. I mean, you literally had to walk back like 20 feet in order to just get it in the frame of the glasses. And then you've got these gesture controls. And then, I mean, just after you use this for 5 minutes, your arms get tired. You're like, and you don't want to do these gestures, right? And then the voice control it didn't hear anything. It was very not good with the sensitivity. And then the worst was this company. So there was E3 came. I guess it was like the summer of last year, summer of 2019. And I mean, I'm just disgusted that Magically wasn't at E3 doing that, what they were doing. So it's this company in San Francisco I won't name, but they're a good company. So they make these mixed reality incredible experiences. So they have this garden at E3. So it's this gigantic room that they curtained off inside the convention center. Really big room. Like,
is that like the Japanese artist?
No, it's a big company in San Francisco. But what they did was they were offering people to come into this garden type experience with like mushrooms and all this psychedelic stuff. And they had, the line was all off the chart. They had hundreds of people waiting in line. And then they were all handing them a HoloLens 1. And by this time of last summer, and I mean, that was like probably maybe the last E3 that will ever be in Los Angeles, because E3's been having a lot of problems. And, you know, I was so surprised when I went to the Consumer Electronics Show in 2020, 2 months ago. Man, I've been going to the Consumer Electronics Show for 20 years, but I've skipped the last few years. The Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas has turned into the ultimate event for technology in software and hardware, creative and development side. So, I mean, 5-10 years ago, you would go to the Consumer Electronics Show. There were 3 main areas. There's the main convention hall, there's the North Hall, the South Hall. The South Hall is the 2 floors. And then they had some Asian innovation in the South Hall, like robotics and stuff. CES has completely changed into this colossal, gigantic, insane event where my friend Victor runs Digital Hollywood, which is in the spring and the fall in Los Angeles for over 20 years. It used to all be the lawyers of entertainment, and now he has sports, entertainment, technology, health. It just goes on and on. Now, he has partnered with CES for many years, where they hold Digital Hollywood over at the Aria Hotel during CES. But then this year, it was even more than that, where the days before CES started, on the Monday, the day before, in the North Hall, above the North Hall, they attached the hotel, and they had Unity people with artificial intelligence. They had all these seminars and events, learning events. And there were so many different fragmented learning events this year at CES. It was just insane. It's not just become a consumer electronics showcasing, but they've brought in all of the content and the content development in with, and so you go to CES this year and you can't, it's impossible to do all of CES like it used to be. I could go through the whole first floor in a day, and I could hit the whole north floor with the cars, and then I could hit the 2 floors of the south and maybe the outside. But I mean, this time, not only is it the outside, but then they had a second AI outside, and then they had just endless amounts of different conferences going on. They had baby conferences, and I think this is crazy, right? But it's great because it's so big. CES now, that's a perfect event. I hope it keeps going, and they can bring people back soon, like in January, because that'll be an incredible event, January 2020, 21. because CES is just, it's become this incredible showcase of the combination of both the hardware and the software. And so that's pretty much it. But see, the thing with the Apple is that they're all moving too slow. That's why these companies like Nreal and Magic Leap, at least they're innovating. You know, Robert Scoble, he's a big technologist, evangelist, and news guy up in Silicon Valley for many years. So, you know, I know Robert Scoble. I call myself like the young, funny, cleaner Robert Scoble. But basically, Robert Scoble, he's a great guy. But, you know, he even says, the point is, he even says that the Apple glasses are going to be like smart glasses. So the Apple glasses are probably going to be like Nreal or like the Bose glasses, but with just, or the Vuzix maybe, you know? So, I mean, sure. I hope, I wish that, you know, at Christmas or next Christmas that Magic Leap, I mean, that Apple just comes out with like these, and it's like Bose AR glasses, and basically it's full mixed reality, and they've got their Apple AR kit, and it's just, you can do everything in Unity, and boom, it's like the best experience, and maybe it's like $1,000 or whatever. But, I mean, the way it's looking like with Amazon putting out their glasses, and it seems as though they're going to take a very slow approach to moving into full mixed reality. So Apple, if they come out, I doubt it'll be Christmas. Let's say they come out 2022. It could just be a pair of smart glasses, you know, and that are going to be wirelessly tethered to a new iPhone. And I mean, you know, that's going to be okay, but that's not really going to push and move the whole industry forward. Now, just to finish this whole thing up, so that's where Nreal did the best job. So they came out right after Magic Leap. Then they went into Consumer Electronics Show in 2019. Then they went into then they started selling it a few months before 2020. Then with the pre-order, they got a few out to the developers. Then they got into 2020 CES. I knew that CES 2020 was going to be a must-attend event. 40,000 people from China in just 2 months ago, January 7th, came to CES. Over 150,000 people came to CES. Every journalist, every tech journalist. When you go into the journalist room, the media room at CES in Vegas in the conference center, about 100 people, about 100 to 200 people. Those are the world's tech journalists, broadcasters, writers, anyone that has anything to do with consumer electronics and tech was in the room in the media center there and at CES, and they all went back to talk about it. Now the thing is that Nreal, they did such a great job with the booth, with the 20,000 people at least rolling to try through the booth, that they got the most incredible press. It's great. It's expensive. It fits. It's the new thing. And I mean, this was this is the savior for the whole entire augmented and mixed reality community and developer community that people and investors and companies and startups have been investing billions and billions of dollars for the last few years with this terrible press, this terrible media. And they're really only about 5 or a handful of reporters in technology that have such a pull on Wall Street Journal or CNET, where all the masses are seeing what they wrote. And they just wrote how they did not like Magic Leap from the get-go, and they kept writing how they didn't like Magic Leap and how it didn't live up to the expectations and this, that. And then Nreal came in, and everything is positive, everything is great, everything is wonderful, and it got all that incredible press, and they were at CES for the second time. So I like people that are successful, like myself, and things that I've done. And I'm just to give you my little background. So I'm from Greenwich, Connecticut, and I went to NYU and New York University, and I was on Wall Street in insurance private brokerage doing high-level training on Wall Street in the professional development department for years. And then I moved to Santa Barbara, and for 15 years, I've done global news and entertainment primarily. And then I was one of the first YouTubers. I got to the top of YouTube. I got 1 billion views on YouTube, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And then YouTube opened up YouTube Space LA in Los Angeles. So right in Playa Vista, 10 minutes from me and 10 minutes from LAX, is a 40,000 square foot movie studio that YouTube gives to creators. But you have to have over 10,000 subscribers, and then you can go in there and you can use the equipment and you could do workshops, and then they would have parties every week. For almost 10 years now, I've been going to that. Unfortunately, because of the virus, they've shut the YouTube space down for a while, but it's an incredible place, and then you meet other creators from the LA area. The problem is the YouTube space LA is down in Playa Vista, which is more of a tech hub. And there are other tech people like Yahoo and Facebook and all USC, all sorts of tech hubs down in Playa Vista. But Hollywood is too far away, so Hollywood's up north. So in order for all these Hollywood people and all these actors who are up in Hollywood to go all the way down to YouTube in Playa Vista, it's just too far for them to go to. So even after all these years, YouTube is just a very small, this YouTube space is a real small, unknown resource that people can use, but you have to have 10,000 subscribers, and then you can take the workshops and you can start renting out the equipment. But you do have to sign a master use agreement, and when you do that, I signed off as a master use agreement. You have to buy insurance also for the place. And when you sign the master use agreement with Google, they consider the YouTube space an entire data center, basically. So it's like I have control of an entire Google data center. I control of all the Google employees there. They'll set up an entire live stream event with an entire set with multiple cameras. They'll do all that for me. If you have over 100,000 subscribers, you can live stream there. I can take out all the 360 VR cameras overnight. At the time, they have the 16 GoPro array, which is the Google Jump Odyssey. And so you have the 16 GoPros in a circle. This is humongous unit. It's hundreds of pounds with a battery. And then you could go out and you could shoot a 360 VR. But then you had like 16 mini SD cards in the camera setup. And then you had to get all those together. And then that had to shoot up to a Google pipeline at a VR pipeline and a render farm that they had up in Silicon Valley at the Google headquarters. And then that would take a day or 2 or 3 to process the VR video, and then it would come back down. But they actually closed that whole program of the Google 16 GoPro array spatial computing with the VR capture. See, the thing is, Google, they run these programs for about 2 years or so, like a business, and then they shut it down. And I just see it over and over again. So I was in the most incredible program called Google Helpouts. A lot of people never even heard about it. But back in 2013, Google approached me and they said, look, we're coming out with a platform which is like a search engine, like a visual search engine called Google Helpouts. And then they handpicked 1,000 experts around the world that did many different types of skills. Someone made soup. Someone was a yoga instructor, many programmers in many different languages. And then I came in to do YouTube and marketing help, social media and all that. So what they did was they set me up with my own Google Helpouts interface. And then I could charge people to do a private one-on-one video chat by the 10-minute increments. And then I could say, hey, do you want a consultation? And this is back in 2013. You want a consultation in marketing or computer programming or learn about Google Glass? We do $15 for 10 minutes. And then I'd have them sign up with a scheduling system on Google there that they had integrated. And then I would one-on-one like this privately do a consultation, and I could set my price. But what happened was then Google would give us a code, cards with codes on them, so that I could give free advice out, and they would get a code, and it would be $15 for like 10 minutes, but I would give them a Google code with $25 worth of credit. So then people could get free information from me and expertise through a private business one-on-one platform, a video chat platform. But then I would get paid through Google because Google allowed me to give out the codes with the coupons on them. So that was a really great system. Then there were a lot of these 1,000 people decided not even to charge money. So there'd be a great developer with 15 years of experience and say Python, and I would go on a chat with this guy, or even Google employees, some of them they had that were software engineers. You could go on a chat at one-on-one, and you could just go back and forth, share the screen, talk to them, and everything. What happened was that program, and I won the Google Award for that as the expert, the Google Helper Expert Award. Through Google gave that award out to me. But what happened was that program lasted from about 2013 to about 2015, and that's kind of the life cycle of Google platforms. If they don't have great success, they're more of like an experiment. So they shut that platform down in almost 2015, end of 2015. I really wish they would bring that platform back, because Google Helpouts, it was just an amazing platform where you could get a tutor or someone to help you. And these other companies have come out with these tutor services and these chat private business consulting services like Google Helpouts, but it's nothing like that interface was, and how incredible that whole Google system was, and how you could one-on-one chat with an expert in their field privately through business, and I could get paid for giving consulting out. So it's just to wrap up the story, I see that the price point on the Nreal is, and this or 2 or 3 companies from China are going to be coming out possibly by Christmas with a $499 or even a $399 price point, which is absurd and unheard of. And this is going to spark the mass adoption. But for Nreal to get such great press at CES, I just commend them. And it's just like, it's kind of like a dream. They just lucked out that when you do everything right, you know, they pushed it out right, they got it into CES right for 2 years now. And then this year was the year. I knew I had to go to CES this year because this was going to be the start of the next 10 years. And then it really came true, because this is year 0 of coronavirus. So we are now in year 0, and next year's going to be
coronavirus becomes like a Jesus Christ.
It really is. This is year 0 now. Like, I mean, if you go on the news or you go on some of those kooky YouTube tinfoil hat stuff, you watch a video and they chop up what the news people say, and they just go chop up clip to clip to clip to clip, and the new normal. It's the new normal. Hey, the new normal, the new normal, the new normal, the new normal. They got these code words that they're just pushing out to the masses, and it really is going to be the new normal now. So I'm working with Intel, and I'm just to finish this up. So the augmented reality is great, and I think that Nreal are the people to go with. So if I were you, I would get $11.99, get the developer kit as fast as you can. Wait till the 17th till they open up their developer store if you need to, and download the SDK, which is just the Unity plugin. If you need the Unity plugin, just let me know. I'll send one to Dominique too, so she can just drop it into Unity, and then you can start developing immediately. Thanks, Goncalo. But now is the perfect time. So you want to start making apps in Nreal and write in Unity, just simple apps. Like little simple games, simple spatial games, experiences, entertainment experiences, very simply in Unity. And then there's a great woman named Lionella, and Lionella, Nreal has a Slack chat. And it's in the developer section, but they've only taken that down for days. It's only been down for like, it's not like that's been down forever. That's been up forever, for months, since for a year now. And like the instructions, it's kind of very bare bones. That's the thing. So there's just a limited amount of instruction. So they're redoing the whole user interface. That's why I think they took it down. But for up the last year, up until just mentioning this, you would pop in, they had instructions on everything, instructions on how to do Unity with the controller, how to use the controller, how to use the device, and then they had basically just the one file, which is the Unity package, the SD, that's the SDK. So I'll just send you the Unity package. That's just the SDK. That's all you need. And then you can go to to YouTube, and there's 2 or 3 guys. One Scarred Ghost is one of the guys. There are a lot of AR people and people I know on YouTube, and on Twitter. And then there's another guy in China, and they're directly been making 2 or 3 tutorials on how to put the emulator on the computer, to connect to the compute unit, how to drag and drop the file. But then without the device, how to use Unity, how to use the emulator, how to create experiences. So if you're an AR developer, a mixed reality developer, now is the absolute perfect time to just jump right into Unity and get the Nreal plugin, or just wait till the 17th. And you can get the SDK and the Unity plugin and start developing apps. And then Lionella is running all their social media out of New York and developer help, and they have a Slack channel. So we're all in the Slack channel, and that was posted on the Nreal website in the developer
it's
section
down
too.
right now.
But I'll get you the Slack channel. So if anybody here that's watching or later, if you want to get the Slack channel for Nreal, just let me know, and I'll send you that.
How to let you know? How to let you know?
The best place to find me is on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So if you guys don't know, which many don't know and understand, a lot of people just want to focus all their effort on consumer, or they want to be on, say, Instagram. It's so great. Let's everyone be on Instagram. That's all BS, man. The only place you want to be is freaking LinkedIn, okay? Because people that are entrepreneurs and people that are in business are on LinkedIn. So I had like 10,000 LinkedIn connections 10 years ago, 8 years ago. But the thing is, back then, it was almost like HR, and people didn't communicate on LinkedIn. All they did was collect people on LinkedIn. So it was all about who you collected. If you have 20, 30,000 connections, then you have all these people that you can tap into. But no one communicated on LinkedIn. They only collected people. Now, and over the last 5 years, it's very much shift. There's that woman, Goldie Chan. She's got like the green hair or whatever. She was one of the first where they got these people to become the LinkedIn influencers, basically. And so she started doing videos on YouTube. They open up, they didn't even have video way back then. So they open up where you could add video to posts. And then she started being big on that. And then just about 2 years ago, they started live streaming at the beginning of 2018 on LinkedIn, but it was invite only. And so I got in there the summer, just a couple months later. But to this day, it is very, very hard to be a LinkedIn live streamer. You have to be absolutely invited in by LinkedIn in order to live stream on LinkedIn. And they are very, very selective on who they're allowing to come in to live stream. So there's hundreds and hundreds of people and companies and entrepreneurs that have written me over the last couple of years that say that they've tried and they've tried and they've tried to apply to LinkedIn Live, and they aren't getting accepted. Now, I have forwarded a few people over that have the presence and the consistency to be able. That's the key of all this, is that most people, especially on video and live streaming, they just don't have the consistency. Back in 2008, 2010, I was uploading 10 videos a day to YouTube. It was global news at the time. I get all the news sources around the world to this day, photos, videos, the Queen of England, Prince Harry playing polo, Lamborghini car shows. I get all the world's news and photos every day because I'm broadcast credential press for 15 years. I've had a show in 15 years in Santa Barbara Arts TV. I also ran a Navy League television show and started that up, and we supported and adopted the USS Ronald Reagan aircraft carrier, and they would come to Santa Barbara regularly, and we would hold events and help the crew and the captain of the USS Ronald Reagan aircraft carrier. And I basically had this show, an entertainment show in Santa Barbara, going over local news, parades, charities for 15 years now. But in Santa Barbara, it then went from local news and charities and the film festival, and all the film people would come to Santa Barbara and they get out of LA, and so you get the A-listers and the most famous people in entertainment would come up to Santa Barbara, and then I would interface with them in very private settings, events and parties in Montecito and Santa Barbara, and parties for different events, and then charity parties. So Santa Barbara is a gigantic charity hub. There are about 800 charities in Santa Barbara. So every weekend there's like a $10,000 a plate at a table charity event. And there's many wealthy people in Montecito. So for 15 years, I've been going to these very exclusive events with philanthropists and helping charities, documenting charities, and then the whole film up there. So the A-listers don't come down to in Hollywood. They don't come out to events because they have to be too cautious. But if they go up to Santa Barbara, it's much more of a relaxed setting and more private. So I've had the ability and opportunity to interface with many entertainment leaders, actors, directors, all the top echelon for 15 years now. But then I decided that I wanted to move down to LA to be closer to YouTube Studio. So I have my Santa Barbara place, but I come down to LA every few years to come to Venice because I like the beach here. But it's still an hour from Hollywood when you drive, about 45 minutes with 30 minutes without the traffic. But with the traffic, it's like an hour to go to Hollywood, to go to like the Television Academy events and stuff. But what happened was I came back down to LA back in 2015, and I wanted to move out of being a YouTube entrepreneur because this is a solo thing. And so the first thing I got this great job where I ran all of Steve Harvey, the comedian's YouTube, and I helped him get over 1 million subscribers, and I syndicated his whole daily show, which was like Oprah, with a daily TV show on NBC. And then from there, then I moved into this incredible job that I've had for the last 4 years, where I've been the advertising director and Google Cloud director and innovation director for Genius Brands International, where our CEO created Inspector Gadget, and he's created many cartoons over the 80s and actually did many cartoons. So all the Nintendo, the G.I. Joe cartoons, Mario Brother cartoons, Sailor Moon brought to America. He created Strawberry Shortcake, Carmen Sandiego, all these cartoons, Heathcliff. He created all the 80s cartoons. It was DIC Entertainment. So they were launching a new series, a bunch of them. So we have Llama Llama is on Netflix now. It's gone into 2nd season, so it's going to go into 3rd season. Then, so I helped all the way through development, advertising, working with Netflix, going through to the whole show, and then marketing the show, bringing in user acquisition through promotional material and social media and all that. And so you got to check out Llama Llama on Netflix. And I moved into a consulting role with Genius recently, but I was full-time in Beverly Hills, and I had my own office on Rodeo Drive for a long time. And so we have Llama Llama Netflix, and we have Rainbow Rangers on Nickelodeon, which is a environmental show that's CGI, and Llama Llama is 2D, but it's 3G on Nickelodeon. Rainbow Rangers. Then we have a Warren Buffett cartoon called Warren Buffett's Secret Millionaires Club. A lot of people never heard about it. It's rolled out in 2012, but then I relaunched it. I helped build an OTT network with over 100 million viewers, households, basically. We have these it's a cable channel with 20 or 30 series on it on many different platforms. So Amazon Prime paid channel, we're on Netflix, we're on all the different streaming services, but they're all on different platforms basically as their own ecosystems. But it's just been incredible. So I've been in this animation world for 4 or 5 years now at the highest level, seeing how animation is developed and then funded, how it's produced, how it's getting done in China, the voiceover actors, all that, and then how it's pitched to television, how it's sold to television. There's places like MIP and MIP Junior in Cannes, France, and then there's a kids screen in Miami for the kids content. So you go and then you sell it. Then there's the whole licensing consumer products portion of the animation business, which is really where all the money is in. So this licensing show in Vegas, which a lot of people don't know about, is a very key place to be. And that comes up around the end of May, June. And since everything's going virtual, it's going to be very interesting how they roll out these. A lot of these, like the licensing show in Las Vegas, if you're a business, they'll usually like give you a free pass to go attend the event. So that's most likely going to be the first time ever that it's going to be virtual this year, in a month probably. So I suggest everyone should check out the licensing show, because people do consumer product licensing, and they take brands and they take IP, intellectual property, they take cartoon characters, say that was their property, intellectual property, and then they license this out to all the different business. So you can have a license with a toothpaste brand, and then use your character on that toothpaste, to promote it and have that whole branded out. So the real money in television is in the licensing and the consumer products. And then just the television itself is the licensing and the distribution. And then we're talking about licensing in all different territories around the world. So every location that television is broadcasted in, every country, they have different laws and different territories and different fees and different prices and all that. So I've been very heavily into broadcast television, OTT, AVOD, advertising, VOD, VOD, SVOD, TVOD. So I have more of a marketing, entertainment, social media, business management, consulting background. So right now, just to finish the whole story, I'm doing a lot of work with evangelizing different technology products. I'm doing a lot of work with Nreal now. On Tuesday, I should be doing a live stream. I have this planned on Tuesday on my LinkedIn, and I'm going to have the evangelist for Nreal, and she's going to be giving out some cool stuff like swag, like t-shirts and stuff. So I'm going to be doing a live stream on LinkedIn with the social media and the evangelist in America, in New York, Lionella, who is, will talk all about it, Nreal, and that should be on Tuesday on my LinkedIn. I'm going to go live on LinkedIn and do that for about a half an hour on Tuesday. That's probably going to be at noon PST and about 3 p.m. Eastern time on basically on LinkedIn Live. So you should definitely connect to my LinkedIn. So just to finish up on why LinkedIn is so important. So we have all of the world's entrepreneurs and business people on LinkedIn. And about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, they started moving the people from just collecting people to people becoming influencers on LinkedIn, like Goldie Chan. And then that morphed into these influencers live streaming. And then that's only been about a year of this happening now, a little over almost just about 2 years now. And still almost virtually no one on LinkedIn can live stream. It's just a handful of people, right? Maybe 50 or 100, let's say. But that's going to grow. But the whole key to LinkedIn is social selling. So what happens is I get like 50 or 100 people on LinkedIn a day trying to sell me something. And it's just tiring and annoying, because the biggest problem that these people do is they don't know anything to do about social selling, and they don't understand LinkedIn. What I get are
what's social selling?
Well, social selling is where you more sell to people in like through social media channels and privately through social media messaging, but it's more of a social connection as opposed to like a hard sell. So what most people do on LinkedIn is they like, I got 100 today. They send me a message that's like a 5-page freaking email. No one wants to see that, right? But I mean, over every day, I've 50 people sending me this. They want to sell me a cloud service. They want to be my AR developer. They're a real estate agent. Then they think I work for Google because I put YouTube on it. And then they want to sell me a house and give me a discount because they think I'm a Google employee. And they don't even read my profile. And then it just goes on and on and on. People like don't even give you the, like, I just got an email from a guy, and he didn't even put my name. It was a different name. It wasn't my name. He would say, "Hi, Joe." I'm like, what? So the thing is, these people on LinkedIn, they don't understand that there's like 100 million people on LinkedIn right now, and there's just billions and billions of dollars on LinkedIn right now, and there's so many people you can sell to on LinkedIn right now. It's just crazy. So in 1 minute, what you do is you connect to people that you have like minds to, and you have a similar interest to, and a similar business interest to, and then you also try and find people at a little higher level to what you're working with. Like, say, you know, I have very high level people on my LinkedIn, entertainment CTOs of major movie studios and heads of entertainment and technology and business all around the world, and even blockchain. You'll get a group or a niche. So all the blockchain people found me, and then all the AR people found me, and all the entertainment people found me. So I have 25,000 out of the 30,000 max you can have, and they're all highly curated. Before, years ago, so back like 2014, I had 7,000 or 8,000 LinkedIn, but it wasn't highly curated. I was just connect to people. We would connect. You'd write them. No one would ever even talk. It was just like a collection tool, like a human resources tool. But then with this shift, it's really turned into more of a social platform, more of a social selling platform. So I have made multiple six-figure deals within 2 or 3 sentences on LinkedIn. And I mean, that's how incredible and powerful this is. So I have systems. So the simple system is that you would reach out and connect to someone that you're interested in connecting to, the similar interests in business on LinkedIn. Then once I've connected, I usually don't even respond or write them for a week. So we just connect. A lot of time people will say, "Oh, thank you for connecting." Then I'll say, "Oh, give them a happy face or a thumbs up or something." But then I let them go for like a week or so, and I don't give them a hard sell, and I don't start writing pages of letters to them to turn them off. We're just connected. Then the next thing, it was a week later, I'm always looking at the news and intelligence and doing research, and I'm always watching the posts. And when you do that on a daily basis, you're going to see a lot of innovation coming out, and people that you can partner with, people that you can work with and team up with. So there was a big company called Zumo. They had 200 cable channels, and they had a news article. There was a news article about them, and it said that they have 200 cable channels, and they have on this Zumo XUMO free TV platform like Pluto TV. Pluto TV got bought by Viacom for like $500 million or more dollars after running for a couple of years. And now Zumo just got bought after ramping up just about 2 years. They got bought by Comcast, $1 billion deal, But right before that happened, they said, "Hey, we have about 5 or 10 channels left on our 200 channel cable network, and we are looking for, a couple more channels." So when I saw that, and we have a cable channel, we have a broadcast channel with 20 series of television on it, and we want to put that on their OTT network with hundreds of millions of people watching, and the Zumo is actually on all the top smart TVs. So when you buy a smart TV like an LG, the Zumo is on the button on the controller. That's how powerful they are, that they got in with those incredible manufacturers. So that when you're looking at the remote control button, oh, Zumo, you just click that, it's instantly to get there. So I reached out. I said, "Hey," I connected. I waited a week. I said, "Hey, we have a cable television network channel, and we would like to be on Zumo. Can we open up a conversation?" I mean, it was like 2 sentences. That brought us into a meeting into the office, and boom, that closed the deal. Now, of course, these complicated television deals can take 3 to 6 to even 9 months. It can take 9 months or more just to negotiate with lawyers a deal for distribution of broadcasting on one network. So it take a whole year just to get your little television show on, you know, an Amazon platform or anything like that. But we have an entire channel on Zumo, and then they got bought by Comcast a year later. So this is a huge thing. Same thing happened with Amazon and Twitch. I did the biggest thing, one of the biggest revolutionary entertainment events, and no one even knows about it still. It was over a year ago. Basically, Amazon Twitch had where they were showing week-long live streams of popular television shows. Very few of these. It was like they did Bob the Painter. They took all of the Bob the Painter from PBS, where the guy's all talking and painting, and they bought the license for all of the whole show, and they aired that on Twitch, on Amazon Twitch Live for an entire week on the main Twitch channel that millions of people see. And then they did Power Rangers and they did Doctor Who. So I saw that in 2018, at the beginning of 2018, I said, oh, we have to get one of our TV series, because we have Stan Lee's Mighty Seven. There's a Stan Lee cartoon with many actors, and they had Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They had the guy from Ashton, the guy from Lord of the Rings. It was really great, a great little cartoon series. But they launched it way back with Stan Lee, Mighty Seven. It was also called Slam 7 way back like in 2012, 2013. I was helping them relaunch these properties. Warren Buffett, Secret Millionaires Club animation cartoon where they help children build a bank account and learn about business and stuff. So I helped relaunch all these onto our new cable TV networks. But it's just incredible that, so I reached out to Twitch, got the great guy Chase at the time, who was the whole head of Twitch PR, and I said, hey, look, we got an animation network. We got great animation. I want to have a show like Doctor Who, Power Rangers, and the Bob the Painter. We want to have a week-long marathon on Twitch. And then they moved us to the business development on Twitch. And then she met with us. And what did she want? She wanted an Inspector Gadget. The problem with Inspector Gadget was that the owner sold that years ago. It was sold and resold and sold to Disney. And then it's sold to a company that basically has bought up all the animation and children's cartoons, and they're based out of London. And so they wanted Inspector Gadget, but we didn't even own Inspector Gadget anymore. But I'm the kind of guy that likes to get things done, and when people want something, I like to get it to them. So what we had to do is we had to relicense the show that the creator, the CEO, created the show and then sold it, and I relicensed it back so that it could be on Amazon. So the whole entire week of 2018 Christmas, they ran the first Inspector Gadget 1980s series 24 hours a day on Twitch. Then they had that famous guy Adam Savage, who's had a Discovery show. He's a maker and he makes electronics and stuff. He's been on Discovery for like 15 years. He had his people do real gadgets from the Inspector Gadget show for the entire week up to Christmas. And then on Christmas, they had a Pokemon as the Twitch main series. So I brought a classic television series, one of like 4, to have this live stream special on Twitch, which is like on a revolutionary thing. And Twitch is an incredible platform where you have everyone's communally live watching the show and then chatting in the side. And it's just an amazing experience. So I think everybody should be getting on LinkedIn, have a really soft connect, reach out with like a sentence on something that's interesting a week later. If you see a connection, then turn it into a conversation. But I'm all about closing deals and sales. So you can talk all you want, and people love to talk and talk and talk and talk, and people write me all day. People write me, people on LinkedIn guy writes me, this nonstop, right? Here's my idea. Here's this thing. I want to do this. I want to patent this. I got this AR thing. I got that. It's all just a pipe dream, and they're just talking and talking and talking. I'm all about taking action, getting results, And in sales, you have to close the deal. ABC always be closing. So you have to have the close as the goal, or you just have to keep moving on and closing what you can close, because you have to close the deals and have them come into fruition. So it's incredible talking to you guys, and I hope everybody got some insight and enjoyed this stream. I have a lot of insight in many different areas in the forefront of augmented reality and mixed reality being one. I'm more of what I am is I'm mostly
everything.
I like to consider myself, and I mean, I'm not like anywhere near like a Steve Jobs, but I'm more of an evangelist. So when I see, that's really how I really want people to understand me, is when I see a product that's incredible, like the Nreal glasses, I want to bring this to the people, and I want to evangelize this incredible technology, whether it's hardware or software. And then I interviewed Steve Wozniak at SMPTE last year. That was an unbelievable experience. I've met all the celebrities in the world and interviewed them. But to be able to be with Steve Wozniak, that was really an incredible experience. And being able to interview him and being face-to-face and talking with Steve Wozniak. Now, he's more of a technical person, but he's evangelizing also. I'm more of like a Steve Jobs type, that I'd rather let people code under me and then evangelize the product, because coding's great, but if you can't, like Magic Leap, if you can't sell a few thousand units and you can't make that money, and then it's all going to kind of go downhill. So when I see a great product like Nreal, and I got them and I've used them and I see the crowd, I see the negativity of the public press on augmented reality and how that's slowing down the developers, the whole ecosystem, and the adoption of the public for pushes that years out. And then they get all this press, they do everything right, and they're bringing down to the lowest price point soon. I think that this is the big winner. So if I were you, when the 17th comes around, or if you need to, just contact me on LinkedIn, and I'll go and I'll give you the Unity SDK. It's the package. It's a file. You drop that in, and then you go up to, you should go up to YouTube, and there's 2-3 guys that will show you step by step how to, with the emulator, with Unity, you don't even need the glasses, make an experience. Then I would connect with the Slack chat and Lionella. Then when you have some sort of a developed simple app, like a game or a utility, then I would show Lionella, and then she can showcase that to the whole global community, because they're taking stuff that was done at the MIT AR/VR hackathon a couple months ago, and they're showcasing all that as the first work and the first apps that are coming out, showing off that what Nreal can do. And they're incredible apps. So being able to do that is going to allow you to come into the App Store when they create an App Store at a very small entry at the start of it all. So you can really consider this and Magic Leap like as if it was the Apple One over 10 years ago, and you were the first person to put your Apple app in the Apple App Store. And that's what it's like now in 2020, where it's like year zero, and you have the ability to start putting your apps and creating apps that can go into these brand new app stores, like Nreal's going to create now. Magic Leap has an app store, but it's very limited now. But they're going to come out with the Magic Leap 2. They have been partnered with AT&T for years. That's their main carrier, and they even have the Magic Leap as a prototype where you can buy it in the AT&T store now. So it's imperative now, if you really want to be at the forefront of all of augmented and mixed reality, and VR, I would say, is to start creating apps and then get them on these brand new app stores like the Magic Leap app store for Magic Leap, and then get them to Nreal so that they can showcase that. So once the app store opens, then you can get right in there. And see, the reason why I really like Nreal is because it's an open system. It's non-proprietary, really. This is a open, it's like, see, I thought that 20 years ago, these were going to come out, okay? 20 years ago. I went to CES, and Vuzix, I like Vuzix. They have these glasses. They just came out, the Vuzix Blades, a couple of years ago. And they have really cool, like they have ski goggles with data. And now at CES this year, they came out with swim goggles with the data and the swim goggles, the real-time data. So I love Vuzix. But Vuzix, I'm talking 20 years ago, Vuzix had this. They had the Nreal, but it was just you put this on and you plugged it in and you didn't see the mixed reality overlay. You just saw like a big TV screen. So you could watch like, you know, anything you saw on your computer, you could see like on a big 6-foot screen in front of you, but you couldn't see through it. There was no pass through. So, I mean, I was thinking like 5 or 10 years ago, since this was 20 years ago, I saw it as a CES, that like 10 years ago, I thought Vuzix would be the people that would come out with like what Nreal has now. But Vuzix has kind of moved more into the smart glass, where it's a augmented reality overlay and not a mixed reality interactive overlay. And then it's really a step up from Google Glass. And there's a very big difference between what a smart glass is, which is just like a junky augmented reality overlay, and real mixed reality, like is what the Nreal is. Now, the thing is with Nreal is that it's good or it's bad, but there's really nothing in Nreal. It's like it's a pair of glasses that have it all there, the whole mixed reality right there in front of you. And you have so much power to go in now, to just get that Unity going, to make any kind of mixed reality apps, to be the first in the world to be rolling out these mixed reality apps that within, say, by the end of the year, you have this sold at T-Mobile for $4.99, and then millions of people are going to start buying this thing within the next couple of years. And then this is only the first real consumer version. So gosh, in a year, by the end of 2022, this could have the whole phone with the Qualcomm in it, and and 5G on top of that, and no external unit. And I mean, slowly, there's gonna be a change from about 2022 to 2025. I hope that with Magic Leap, they came out in 2018, and then by 2020, everyone was going to have augmented realities glasses, but mixed reality. But I really thought it wouldn't happen until, say, 2030, until it really came out, and I got them in 28 with Magic Leap. Then I saw that the timeline is going to come a lot quicker. But then when Nreal came out with these glasses, then that even quickens the timeline and shortens it even more. Now, with everybody, like you said, the youth and the children and the teenagers and the college, they live for Snapchat. I mean, even 4 or 5 years ago, I'm talking to some of these college kids at hackathons. I mean, that's what they love this. You know, you have a message and then it disappears and after a day or whatever. And that's they were communicating on Snapchat like 4 or 5 years ago, these college kids, right? And so now they're all communicating with augmented reality and mixed reality, but it's the phone augmented reality and mixed reality. And personally, I just do not like that pass-through experience. It's a completely night and day different experience from having the glasses on your face mixed reality and then the phone pass-through mixed reality. You just cannot compare them. It's so much better right on your face and having the real mixed reality world, even with the small DOF. It's still just incredible. These glasses it's wider than the Magic. It's a little shorter, but it's wider than Magic Leap. And then where the eyes are at the bottom of the frame, the augmentation goes all the way down to the edges. It's right to the edge. With Magic Leap and HoloLens, it's like a square box you're looking through. So all the edges don't have the augmented reality overlay. So to just have that coming down on the bottom really, really fills in the augmented mixed reality over the glasses, even though you're only getting that whole top half is kind of covered. So you're really getting an incredible experience with the Nreal. and just have this price point, and then when it becomes $4.95, and then the last thing you see, I love it when people are helpful and they want to bring in a community and they want to share. So see, Nreal their whole game plan is that they are going to open this up to third-party hardware developers. So they've already started doing this. Now, I have a great friend in UK, in London, Nat, and Nat owns Litho. And you have to check out Litho, Litho, Litho. Litho is a very small little anvil-like controller, an augmented reality controller. It was a ring, like a ring on your finger. That was an AR controller that he developed. And he got backing from the Queen of England's, the startup they have for the Queen. But then it's more like an anvil now, like a little anvil, like a blacksmith uses. And it slips in between your fingers, and it has a touchpad like a mouse and a haptic on it. And with this, it's so cool. I got this, and they have basic Unity apps, but you got to use the damn phone. And so you use this controller, and I'm picking up objects and boxes, spinning them around, throwing them with this tiny little ring controller. That thing's incredible. But see, they are going to be able to partner with Nreal. And Nreal is opening up so that third-party hardware developers with gaming controllers, 6DOF controllers are going to be able to use their controller with the Nreal system. I really like it when people like to help other people, and they like to have a low price point. They like to bring in other developers and other companies and other third-party accessories to help. The HoloLens, it's all proprietary. Magic Leap, it's a controller and the headset. Controller costs like $300 to make, they say. Very expensive 60F controller. It's a great controller, but you have to buy into the whole Magic Leap ecosystem. You have to buy into the whole hardware system. And you got to buy a case on top of it. You got to buy that power hub. But Nreal, it's all you're going to need is the glasses. In about a year or less, you're going to need the glasses. You won't even need a 5G phone. So all you need is $4.95 for the glasses. And it's so perfect and simple because, one, all it can be if you need it is a Android interface in augmented reality. And that's mostly what many people want. They just want to be able to see the Android screen somewhere in the room, not even mixed reality, just like an augmented reality. And then to be able to control that, that gets you away from the handheld. So you have it spatial. And in the room, there's the spatial computing. But then on top of that, they're going to open up all these third-party accessory developers where you don't need to use this puck, and you'll be able to use a real game controller from different companies that gamers are buying game controllers from. And so, and I told that, I said, Nat, you need to be taking that, and we need to integrate Litho into Nreal. And it's not that hard. That's Unity based anyway. So all you really need to do is map the controller to the Unity project with the buttons. You know what I'm saying? So they're being so nice to give this system out to the people, for it to be $4.99 coming soon when you just have the glasses. It will eventually not just be a 5G phone, but many makes of new phones you'll just be able to plug right in. So all you're going to need is the glasses. But that will take any mobile phone and turn it into this rich mixed reality experience. Let's say you just want to play Pokemon Go. So many people play that, they got to look at their phone. You'll have it right on your freaking head, right in your face. You're going to have the Android screen. And then it just grows from there. Once you start making custom apps for this, then the opportunity and the use cases are literally endless, what you can do. Just similar to Magic Leap. Everyone's like, where's the use case? How are we going to use Magic Leap? Why do you need Magic Leap? Who needs Magic Leap when you got a computer or when you got a phone? What's the big deal with augmented reality? they're just not getting the picture that this is, once I got the Magic Leap, it's spatial computing. You don't need a keyboard. That whole industry of keyboards, gone. You don't need a mouse. All those manufacturers making mouses, Logitech and all that, gone. No keyboard, no mouse, no screen, no television screen. Now, of course, in a few years, and they're already doing it, they've got these fans that do holographic. They have where, let's say, a glass wall in a conference room, and you could just put up like a plastic sheet now, and it's basically a whole LED wall, and then it's all interactive and see-through. When I was at, the coolest thing that I saw at the FYC last year was in the Amazon. So they had a Homeland, and then they had, there was another, I think it was Homeland, but there was this room, and you went into the room, and they were doing LED projection in the room all over. So the walls was like a fish tank. So there's fish all over the walls. But then in the corner, it was like a TV. But all it really was like a 30-inch glass, just a glass screen. And you could see through the glass screen. And on the small edges of the screen on the ground, on the bottom, you couldn't even see it. That was projecting like a fish tank image on this, just this glass panel. And it looked very real. And it was very interesting. And it was the first time I really saw that in a event type location, especially in like a Hollywood event. And so, but you still need that flat screen, you see, and in order to project on. So the spatial computing is going to really change everything. And I saw this back when I got my Magic Leap in 2018 in the summer. I just saw, oh my God, there's going to be no phones, there's going to be no screens, there's going to be no TVs, there's going to be no mouse, there's going to be no keyboards. All these industries, no one's going to buy these products anymore. It's going to shift, revolutionary, change so many industries. But it's great because and now with the virus, everything is going to go voice because people don't want to touch anything. And like I said with the Microsoft HoloLens, after 5 minutes of gestures, your arms get so tired, you never want to be doing that stuff ever again. So it's nice they have the finger and the joints and everything, but it's all voice. It's really voice. I saw everyone saw 2001 Space Odyssey, which was like 69 or whenever they created that, Kubrick. But then you definitely should look back again, because I haven't seen it for a long time. But then there was the second 2001, and I think it was called 2010. Like there was a 2001 movie, they made a second one, and that was way after 2001, like the whole setting and everything. And you see, that was all pretty much voice. It was all voice in that they had a society, and it was the 2001 movie, but it was the second one that was like 2010, I think it was. And they did that somewhere around the late 80s or the early 90s. But I haven't seen that movie since it came out then, but I definitely want to watch that and revisit that again, because I think there was a lot more voice control and things in that. But then all these movies, like Magic Leap was great because it was the first consumer augmented real mixed reality glasses to the public. And, this was a science fiction fantasy and like my science fiction dream forever, my entire life, for picking up the first Cyborg book back in, that came out. There was this book, The Cyborg, and then it was $6 Million Man kind of tapped off of that. But, all this Terminator, all this mixed reality and augmented reality overlays. I mean, this is a science fiction fantasy. You should definitely check out a movie, Johnny Mnemonic. Johnny Mnemonic, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's with Keanu Reeves, Ice-T, and a bunch, Ice-T's in it, even Henry Rollins from Black Flag's in it. It's hilarious. But you got to see Johnny Mnemonic. So Johnny Mnemonic is actually an amazing movie because the timeline is very close. So this came out in the 80s or whatever. So Keanu Reeves is Johnny Mnemonic, and he's a courier, and he has a neural implant just like Neuralace. And so they implant information into his head. Then he had to travel to a city with the information, and it was like spy secret information that he was carrying, and people were after him. But then he puts on the glasses, like VR glasses, and like he has like haptic hand gloves. And when it's like 2019, it's like 2020, 2021. Like the movie is set in like 2020, 2021. And we are literally right there. That movie is literally right where we're at right now, basically, because it's got the VR, and you see the whole VR experience, and that is exactly what's coming into fruition now. And with the virus, I really did not want to be in virtual reality. I wanted to be in mixed reality, and I do not personally like a immersive headset where you cannot really see through, although Vive and all of them have the pass-through, and on the pass-through on the Oculus Quest sucks. The room looks very terrible. It's not like a high-definition pass-through, at least what they do when they set up the gate. But basically, it's coming. The VR may surpass AR due to the coronavirus because everyone's stuck at home. Now, if you're stuck at home, who really cares about seeing an avatar in your room when you can see them on a video? You know, maybe much better. Most people are in Zoom. Much easier and better to see someone on a video screen. You don't really need to see a 360 avatar of them, like in your room or in your house. And then having the AR, as much as I used to just love that over VR, no one wants to be in their reality now because of the coronavirus. You don't want to be in your room. You don't want to bring things into your space. You want to get out of your reality into a real virtual reality now. Now, I can't believe Palmer Luckey said all about how Magically sucked, and it was the worst, and the screen, and then Gutag said the screen, it was like the 1980s television, it sucked, terrible junk, piece of junk, this stuff. I mean, they just bashed this thing to hell and back, these guys. But I'm telling you, the Oculus sucks, man. Okay? Palmer Luckey, the Oculus sucks, man. It's so pixelated and dotted, it's a piece of crap junk. But you have to get it right now because everyone's got the Oculus. Yeah, I guess it's good enough. You can move up into a developer. You have to go in some wacky developer mode, and you can adjust it to be a little more high-res. You can play the Rift games and plug in to get a little higher res. But the normal experience of the Oculus is a very terrible, pixelated, dotted, very pixelated experience. They need to go and make a much better resolution headset. And I think, Vive and some other companies are making much higher resolution headsets. So it's going to be coming very soon. So I think because people are so isolated now, I can really envision and see that this is the time. The last 5 years has been a terrible time for VR and AR because everybody's wanted to bring in the next killer app, or they wanted the game that was being adopted, and then everyone was using it. Where that really came in was in Beat Saber. So I know the guy is on my LinkedIn, the creator of Beat Saber. And they're from like Eastern Europe. It's like, Poland or somewhere. And that was the killer app that drove VR, that got everybody to buy Oculus. And that's still the killer app that is driving Oculus. And then I went into Oculus Quest. It's ridiculous, the money that you can make on freaking VR right now. You gotta buy the Beat Saber, and then every time you want to listen to some music, you gotta buy a $20 Timberland pack or whatever. And every time you want to play a damn Star Wars game, you gotta buy it by the chapter. It's just ridiculous, man. $20 is something. So, I mean, if you want to cash in right now, you start making a bunch of simple, cool VR games and experiences. Get them like in the Oculus store, get them in the Vive store, because they're everybody just wants to escape this terrible reality of the coronavirus and their isolation of being stuck in the home. And the opportunity of VR allows you to escape into any visual reality. I have a great friend of mine, Al Claudio, and he's up in Bangkok in Thailand. And he's a top VR filmmaker, VR 360 VR. And so he's been going around the world for years and years where he does training and got him brought in by big companies like Dell, and they have their big experience. And he does the training, and he films the VR, and then they have the VR experience. Now, filming in 360 VR, it's not easy, and you have to have the right depth and everything that has to be all, and even the editing. There's a lot to the 360 VR, but games are much easier to create, I would say, than a 360 VR experience, and they're going to sell a lot more. And it's very expensive, $20 or more, just for these simple VR titles. So, and then I guess that Half-Life came out, so now that's what's really driving all VR. Everyone's bought the Half-Life game. And so there's these couple killer apps, these games that are kind of pushing it forward. But now that everyone's stuck in their home and isolated, the next finally, after these waves of VR sucks and VR is going to be a failure and VR is never taken off, and they funded VR and then the company went down, they funded VR, company went down, they funded AR, the company went down. All this is going to start to change now, because everyone's going to need to use VR to be able to conference, network, go to trade shows, communicate, and escape reality and have entertainment experiences. So I think the VR is going to explode now. I thought AR was going to explode faster, but now VR may, because people want to get out of this isolated into a different reality, into a different visual location or experience. And as much as I can bring in a solid screen into Magic Leap or Nreal, there is some transparency. So, you know, I can color off a wall in front of me in Magic Leap, and I can pick the right color and the right texture and the right lighting of the room. And so you'll play Angry Birds, and up will come the Angry Birds little wooden thing you like shoot at, and you can't see through that because they've carefully chosen the colors of the look of that so that it isn't transparent. But very soon it's all going to blend, but it's still going to take a few years, maybe 2025. That's when the AR and the VR will blend. So see, you want it where I could have these glasses, these Nreal glasses, but then I can have a full VR overlay experience, full VR overlay on these glasses. You can kind of do it, but there's still a little transparency and around the glasses. So I think eventually it's all going to converge, and it all will be just glasses that are both augmented reality, mixed reality, and will be full, then can be shut into the full VR experience. But for now, it's still like a division, still separated. But I think now is an incredible time to be developing in Unity and Unreal Engine on virtual reality. And then I think for Unity and Unreal Engine, I think it's an incredible time to be doing mixed reality. The only thing about Unreal Engine, I love Unreal Engine. They've let me go to their $500 a day training all last fall. I've done everything. They have private training virtually. All this spring I've done 20 classes, all of them. But the thing is, Unreal is very photorealistic, but it's very heavy. So these files are 10 gigabytes, 15, 20 gigabyte files, and it's all PC based really, because you have to do all that Unreal Engine work mostly on a PC unless you have a super powerful Macintosh. But Unreal is more, say, photorealistic, apartment tours, like architecture, and then just that full immersive, incredible photorealism. But it's very heavy, these projects, and to build these projects, and the assets are heavy very weighted heavy, some many gigabytes. But the Unity is very lightweight and much more made for gaming, simple gaming, casual gaming, Android app and iOS app gaming. And so it's really perfect. The other problem is that everyone seems to have a plugin for Unity. So everyone, the litho controller, every device is Unity. You just got a little Unity package, you drop that in the asset, and you can develop on almost anything in Unity. Many things that I would like to do, they don't have a package, they don't have a SDK, they don't have a package that will connect to Unreal Engine. So see, I'd like Nreal to be on Unreal, but they have not developed the package yet. So I cannot develop Unreal on Nreal, but I can develop Unreal with Magic Leap. So Unreal, I love them a lot, but they need to start working with developers more to allow to have a package, a SDK connection, so that more people can develop with Unreal. And they also need to make it more of a lightweight system, because I mean, just to open some of these 15, 20 gigabyte files, you could be sitting there for 5-10 minutes and the project won't even open. So Unity definitely has an advantage, and it's much easier. You can just jump right into Unity and you can create, and there's all these SDKs for Unity and all these packages. It's just so simple to develop and build on. And so I would definitely suggest everybody go pre-order a developer kit for $11.99 and let them know I sent you, and wait a few days, and then I would get the package, the SDK little Unity package, and then I would watch a couple videos up on YouTube on Nreal, and I would definitely make a quick experience, and I would send it to the Nreal people, because they're going to give you free press and marketing and showcase that for you. And then once the App Store opens and they start selling apps, which they haven't even done yet, and Magic Leap's done that for almost a year now, but there's very few for sale. And it's like, there's the poor, I mean, I just don't understand. You know, it's nice, this whole feel good, and we want to have these little soft, cutesy games. And I mean, but here's the deal, right? So an example is Magic Leap. We got Magic Leap, came out with Star Wars ILM and a Porg game. Stupid and boring. You got this Porg, you feed the Porg, it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. A 15-year-old kid made a lightsaber. The lightsaber changes colors with a color wheel, and it's just like the movie Star Wars, where Luke Skywalker is in the Millennium Falcon with the blaster helmet, and that bot is flying around, and he's doing his lightsaber training. And this kid, 15-year-old kid, made that entire thing. So you have this robot flying around shooting at you, and you deflect it with a lightsaber and all the sound and everything. And that's up on GitHub. And he did that like 3 years ago. That should have been what ILM and Magic Leap sold. That they should have sold that lightsaber experience, not you feeding some Porg. Then they had like Rockstar Games or another giant game company. You watch a flower grow. I mean, the stupidest stuff ever, man. I just have to be honest with you. Like, you got to have good apps that are fun, that people enjoy. Now, you do have Weta, and Weta came in with Board, and that's a good game. It's a good shooter game, and that's where I could have got all those million units sold, because they could have gotten them to the gamers. And then Board came out with a really cool test version, which they never released yet, where you could swap people's faces. That would have just, I mean, I don't think that's out. I really don't think that's out yet, but that would have been absolutely incredible if you could play that shooter game and you could swap your face and play with other people in multiplayer. That would have really taken off. But now they let go of, like 1,000 employees, and they moved to enterprise, and they didn't do what I told them to do for 3 years, which was move into a gamer crowd and get gamers behind it. They got Shaq at the beginning. Like, what the hell, dude? Shaq puts on magically glasses like before it all rolled out. And like, what the hell does that have to do with anything? I love Shaq, but like, Shaq shouldn't have been selling that. I guess the reason why they probably got Shaq was because they made a deal with the NBA, and then they have the NBA where you can watch, like, say NFL, you can watch NBA 3 or 4 games at the same time with an augmented reality interface. But, the glasses get warm after wearing them a while, and they're the prototypes. So we can expect something maybe even better than Nreal, maybe just real glasses that are that Magic Leap 2, the ML2s, but those might not come out till, mid-summer next year, if not December. And then they may just be, they're just going to be a second prototype. They not even be sold. So I wish it would happen sooner, and I wish all this adoption would change, but it's still sadly going to be till 2025 or so when more people will be dropping the phones and they'll only have the glasses of their phone, and then it's going to be 5G. What I really don't understand is Snapchat. Snapchat's right here in Venice Beach. They own like all of Venice Beach, basically. They bought up all the real estate on the boardwalk, as a real estate company. Snapchat has those 1 or 2 versions of those glasses. I just don't understand how they have that stupid glasses that don't do anything when they have the apps that do everything and everyone's using. So Snapchat needs to step their game up and really put out some real damn augmented mixed reality glasses like Nreal has now, and they need to do that within the next year or 2, I'd say. And then there will be a massive shift because they're already adopted and adapted to this mobile phone AR screen. They love those filters. Millions of people love those filters. But it's a whole world of experience when you're seeing it through the glasses and not seeing it through the hand. So thank you so much, Dominique, for allowing me to have the time to speak about my interest and expertise in what I see in augmented and mixed reality and technology.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, welcome to connect with Cleve on LinkedIn, and I think I put the LinkedIn, your LinkedIn profile on the chat. So yeah, I will upload this video to the YouTube channel, and I will send one for you. Yeah.
There was one more question. I got to look it up the whole.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so someone asked, developing an MDM. So MDM means mobile device management. So I'm not too sure on I'm not too familiar with mobile device management on exactly what they're doing and what that means. But But yeah, basically with Nreal, how it is you make it in Unity, but then I believe for now it's only Android based. So I don't think it's iOS based. So that means you're going to have to develop it in Unity that's outputted to Android, and then it's an Android system. So I'm not sure if it will be an iOS system anytime soon. But I know now it is currently, and it has been, a full Android system. And that's the beauty of it all, and how I envisioned and how I wished it for the people, is that you have a low price point of $4.99 for the glasses. That'll come out, say, within a year or so, by Christmas, hopefully. It'll be the big carrier by like T-Mobile. You plug in the phone. You have not only the 2D overlay of the augmented reality of the screen and all the apps you're using on your phone, where you won't need the phone. It'll all be screens. You can have multiple apps and multiple screens all around in the room with the spatial computing. But then you're also going to have all these different apps being developed: games, entertainment, media, technology and any kind of a use case. You could have multiple screens for stockbrokers. People are using it for surgery in the medical industry. And it's just the lightest, smallest, and most vivid, incredible experience. And it's not proprietary, where it's just a very simple, make the app in Unity and then drag and drop it into an Android platform. And then to have the third-party controllers on top of that, to be able to have options of getting game controllers and having other third-party developers developing and having multiple different options of where you could buy all different kinds of game controllers and controllers for it and accessories from third parties. It just opens up a whole big ecosystem, allowing people freedom to create and to develop, and other hardware manufacturers to come in. It's a big whole unity, and so that's really why I think Nreal is going to be the big thing over the next couple of years. It takes time for this stuff to come out. It takes time for them to manufacture, but them controlling their own building and controlling their own factory now, and then they had to pause the production because of the virus, but then opening it up again. Now they're fulfilling the orders, and so then the only next, they're heavily deep in with Qualcomm. Qualcomm's in San Diego, and so they have a lot of backing from Qualcomm. They got backing from Deutsche Telekom really heavy, so as you can see publicly. So my best guess would probably be T-Mobile will be the U.S. carrier by, say, Christmas, and it'll be $4.99. You could get the glasses. Then slowly people will start to buy that. It already got so much positive press over CES this year. The positive press is just going to keep coming. Then they're going to say, okay, we got Nreal 2, and that's coming out at Christmas of 2022, and the whole phone is in the headset. You don't need a mobile phone anymore. So, and then it'll be 5G, say, by 2023. So then there'll be this big shift for 2 years where most of America and more first world will be moving into just having glasses as their phone, full mixed reality, and then Apple's going to come up, Amazon will come out, Google's going to come out with something probably. But then, of course, phones are never going to die because there's 8 billion people in the world. There's over 1 billion people that are undocumented, that you don't even know who 1 billion people are. And then there's many phones, billions of phones out there, and the phone price keeps getting smaller and smaller. The technology keeps getting better and better. So, of course, the third world countries are going to be adopting very inexpensive cell phones more and more. But I believe that the mixed reality is going to grow very rapidly in a couple years. However, as far as like the televisions disappearing, I can see there's going to be more circular amphitheater type arenas, and then with the holographic and augmented reality projected in the center of all that. That's kind of more of what I envision in the future when people come together. They'll be coming together more of like a circular amphitheater into a central, instead of as we look on a flat screen, a 2D screen. I mean, I cannot even believe that for 100 years, people have been looking at a flat 2D screen. We are three-dimensional, and we look and everything is three-dimensional space. But we've been filming in 3D objects that are shown then on a 2D screen, which is absurd at this point. And even 3D film movies never really even took off. But I know that when the characters, and let's say the Disney characters that magically, if I could have Disney and Nreal, I could have in Unity, I can make an experience, go into the app, and okay, here's the movie. Watch the new Disney movie. Then they have the big Disney movie. Then all around the movie and all around the screen you're watching, that you can place the screen anywhere, make the screen as big or small as you want. The real characters and the cartoon and the 3D characters of the Disney movie come out of the screen and appear around the screen in the room as mixed reality, where you can touch and interact with them, and you can push them and they'll move, and you can interact in your spatial environment. However, because of the coronavirus, I think that VR right now may surpass AR, even though I hope that AR was going to surpass VR, just because people want to get out of reality now. And so I think VR is, for the next couple of years, may surpass augmented reality, but then augmented reality will have enough in the AR where they're going to be able to do a full VR overlay. Good. So then the AR glasses will be a hybrid combination of AR and VR. And then everyone's going to start having these, and then the cell phone will start becoming a tool of the third world and the second world, not the wealthy people and the people that are, in the first world are going to really want a cell phone anymore, because they're going to want the experience of the mixed reality. They're going to want everything in a simple pair of glasses. And then that whole, what everybody's been used to for 10 or 15 years now of looking into this phone, which is a bad thing, is going to change. And so I'm really excited about when this comes about. So we're really the pioneers still and at the forefront of a massive shift. Now, the TV screens, like the flat screens, are getting so cheap. Samsung 50-inch screens, $350 for UHD. The screen price is going to keep going down. But then I think there will be some sort of a transparent screen and display that can be projected on. But ultimately, it's all going to be probably holographic without even glasses soon. So that's where you have to be careful that if you invest too much in the glasses systems and the hardware, that there may just be light projected visual holograms. And I saw that they showed that with their whole light sensor system with Sony. So I went to CES, and it was like a little box you looked into, like a little diorama, like a shoebox. And then you saw a whole kind of three-dimensional space, a three-dimensional scene there. But it really wasn't there. It was all projected with light. And it kind of looked like a Nintendo 3DS, where you had the screens, or like the old viewfinder, but it wasn't that, because there was no glass in the middle of all that. It was straight being projected as holograms. So soon, and then I saw a lot of things. I saw a lot of things at CES Innovation that to this day, since January, no one's. I mean, I saw hundreds of products in consumer electronics innovations from Germany, Japan, Korea, and France, primarily. Will blow your freaking mind. I went around for 4 hours. At first, I was like, okay, let's talk here. What's your thing? Oh, well, more than one were companies out of China that had very thin little strip band here, and you put it on your head, and it read your EEG, right? And then it was more of a meditation tool. So you have an app, and you can work with your brain waves. And so that leads into what interests me, which is mind control and thought control, and being able to control devices and communicate through your thoughts through the EEG sensors. But then just now I turned on the TV. Not only in China are they doing all the social credit, all the AI, all this and that, all in the classroom with the AI and the machine learning and all the things I'm doing, which is I'm doing AI, machine learning, edge, which is production, which is real-time computer vision, which is even offline. So I've created apps where I have a web camera, like an Intel RealSense depth camera, or just a normal Logitech Bria 4K camera. The web camera, you got a Raspberry Pi 4 gigabyte, and you have the Intel OpenVINO software. So what you do is you make a simple app, which is in like Python or C++, and they give you a lot of templates anyway. But then see, Intel has hundreds of pre-trained models. So when people hear about machine learning, over the years, all they're really talking about is the training of the learning. So how to train the machine to recognize what a bottle is, what a watch is, what a human is, what a face is, body pose detection, all that. So the last few years, when people talk about machine learning, they've been talking about, okay, well, so we're going to go into Google Cloud or Azure, and we're going to open up a Jupyter notebook, and then we're going to go and we're going to type all this code, and we're going to bring in TensorFlow, and then we're going to show it 1 billion or 1 million images of what like a bottle looks like, and then the machine learning will do all this iteration in the cloud, and then it will make a model, and the model will know what a bottle looks like or what a face is, right? So this is like what everyone's been talking about for like 5 years on machine learning. They've been talking about training a machine learning model. Now that's just the start of it all. They are just starting to talk about, they don't even talk about this stuff in the news, is the production of the machine learning in the real world and the use cases. And we're talking the production in real time and the machine learning real time offline. So the thing is that before, you'd have to basically bring an image in or a video in through the camera. You'd have to send it up to Google Cloud or Azure or AWS. They would do the compute of the machine learning up there and say, oh, that's a face. And then it'd come back down to the app. Well, about 2 years ago, Intel opened up Intel OpenVINO toolkit. So what that allows me to do is that allows me to choose a framework like TensorFlow or different machine learning frameworks. And then it allows me to get pre-trained models. So Intel has over 50 pre-trained models. Now a pre-trained model, all a pre-trained model is basically 2 files. It's an XML file and it's a binary file. Those 2 files are in a folder. And that is less than, 10 megabytes basically. Well, that isn't the entire brain. That's the pre-trained model. So that's the model. So there are 50 models that Intel just gives me. They give me a model that will detect your eye gaze. They'll give me a model that will detect your head pose, because somebody has gone and spent all this compute time training a model to recognize what a body pose estimation is in computer vision. Head pose, body pose, human pose estimation, emotions are the best. I can turn on a web camera and it can in real time detect all your emotions, if you're happy, if you're sad. It can do so many things. So I've got 100 pre-trained models. So you take a pre-trained model, like a head pose detection, you make an app that that does the inference of that. And you do that, and then you turn it on, you're doing the inference in real time. But the thing is, you don't need the cloud. And it actually speeds up the inference. And then there's the neural compute stick too, which is a USB stick, which is it's like a big graphics card in a little USB stick with a computer graphics, computer vision and deep learning engine inside of the chip that allows you to speed up the inference processing. So what that means is that I can make a system, like bring it down to Venice Beach or in Starbucks, and everyone walks through the door, and then it'll count everyone. It'll tell if they're a man or a woman. It'll tell them what their emotions are, if they're happy or sad. It'll tell them their head pose, their body pose, all sorts of different things. But the thing is, it does it in real time, and it does it right there on the device. It doesn't need to bring it up to the cloud to be processed, your photo of your face to be detected, go up in the cloud to be processed to machine learning, and then back down. So that there are big security issues of the machine learning where they're taking your face, but then your face is going up to the internet, up to like Google Cloud, and then Google Cloud is processing that to determine and do the inference of what it's doing to detect if it's a face or an object or this or that, and then it's going back down into the app. And that's huge privacy issues there. So the great thing about Intel and Intel OpenVINO is that this can even work offline because you already have pre-trained models. So you're deploying these pre-trained models on FPGAs or small little systems or Raspberry Pi or a laptop with a camera that has all the computer vision that can bring in the real-time computer vision and then do the accelerated inference and then give you the result or the prediction or the output or what the object is with the percentage of the accuracy. And it does that. It does not even need the internet to do that. So right now, in December, I started this Intel AI. I got a scholarship for the Intel AI Machine Learning Edge Scholarship, which was Udacity. I finished the whole thing the day before it even started. It's like an 11-hour course. But then I was in a Slack chat till March for 3 months because they wanted us to help people learn and be able to pass it all. And so I helped people for 3 months doing that online. And there are 3,000 people in that. But then they chose 900 people to get the full scholarship nano degree, which is worth like $3,000 to $5,000. So I got into that now. So for the last 2 weeks, I'm in the full nano degree. It's the first ever. And they've only had this Intel OpenVINO inference system for it's only been around for like 2 years now. So this is just rolling out this inference on the edge with machine learning with pre-trained models in production, the real world scenarios and use cases and the real world computer vision, real-time inferencing of, and the prediction and the inferencing of the objects, and then spitting out the output even offline. So machine learning is just really going to develop rapidly, and people are going to start to understand that machine learning is going to be used much more now. So I'm working with Intel, and I put up on Intel. So I'm working on getting a FLIR camera, which is a thermal camera. But to get the real one that accurately detects your temperature accurately, the cheap ones don't work. You got to get at least a $10,000 camera. So I'm working on getting a camera and then doing a real-time machine learning system with that. And then I have another one for distancing people and broadcasting. Then I have another system for drones and broadcasting for people to social distance and AI with the drones. I'm working with DJI, and I'm using their new drone. The drone technology has gone crazy, man. They have the new, if you want to get a drone, I just got from DJI, the Mavic Mini is $400 with one battery, and it's $500 with 3 30-minute batteries. So I get the $500 one. But the drone technology is so advanced now, it's insane. Like I got an AR Parrot 2 like back in 08. It's been over 10 years. The drone flies so smooth and easy. It's just amazing. And the drone technology and the AI technology and the mixed reality, this is all just going to be growing and growing and growing. I'm very excited about it, especially the drone technology is going to be incredible. And the machine learning edge, where it's just real-time production. So soon, very soon, all the retailers, all the supermarkets, all the retailers, all the schools, any businesses you go on, it's going to kind of be like the Tom Cruise movie, The Minority Report, because the artificial intelligence will have the computer vision and it will all be on the edge systems in the stores. And so all this machine learning and computer vision is going to be rolling out heavy over the next 5 to 10 years, especially with this whole coronavirus. So it's sad because, you know, I wish I go to hackathons, I go to events every week, I go to Google. I'm allowed to personally co-work in YouTube at the YouTube space, so I can go there and basically work there like we work, but for free. And they have like a barista, coffee shop for free and all that. But all that's been closed down now, and all these places, all these events, all these Hollywood events, technical events, hackathons, everything's moved online. And it seems as though the new normal is going to be ramping up for a long time. So it very well may be that there will be no real congregation of people till even mid-2021, even maybe a whole year before groups of people are really congregating. And it does seem as though there's going to be a second wave, very bad, because you just have to look at the other countries like China and Italy, France, and the people that have already experienced the first wave and are now experiencing a second wave. So it's, as much as I don't like being at home, sheltered at home, and no one's out at the beach. So I'm right here, live at the beach in Venice, so I can walk around the block, but you really aren't supposed to be on the beach itself. And the lifeguards and the cops and the ATVs will tell you not to be on the beach or walk through the ocean and back, or just even be on the beach. But you can walk around the block and be on the boardwalk at least. But because people have been staying at home for 2 months, there's virtually only the local people that live here on the beach are really the only people that are here now. And this summer, it's getting very hot right now, almost 90 degrees today probably. And so a lot of people want to start coming to the beach, but they've closed all, they still have all the parking lots. The beach is closed. So you can't just come to the beach and like park at a lot or park at a paid lot. You have to park blocks away from the beach. So the virus, it's changed so much now. And it's sad because I'm a real social person. I like to go to a lot of events.
Totally understand.
Now you have to move to this virtual. So I really need, like Ben said, we need to put together augmented and especially mixed, especially VR. I need to put together a list of all the VR events that are coming up for the rest of the year. And if you need an Oculus or if you need a Vive, and how people can connect, because trade shows, conferences, networking, and socializing is going to get very big by the end of the year, and Oculus is already sold out. I predict a lot of things that come true. I knew once we got to mid-February, I was like, oh my God, I better get a damn Oculus Quest now. I don't even want one. I got to get this now because it's going to get sold out. And unfortunately, we become like black market Russia even a couple of years ago, where you want to buy a Nintendo, it's all sold out. You got to spend $1,000 for it on eBay. It's a black market. And so it's the same thing. The Oculus is a black market right now. If you want to buy an Oculus Quest, it's $800 or $900 on Amazon. It's used. You can't even really buy an Oculus Quest now. Of course, they're going to come out with more, and then they just announced the new one. So you might just want to wait for the new one. But I think VR is going to grow. It was slow growth, and it's going to grow really exponential. So now it's a great time. VR development in Unity and Unreal Engine and photorealistic, and AR in Unity right now, and especially Nreal. So thank you so much for having me. I hope I gave a lot of insight to a lot of people. And the best place to be for anything is LinkedIn right now. You want to connect to 30,000 people, like-minded people, one at a time on LinkedIn. You want to keep it cool and not give them some hard sell with 10-page email off the bat introduction. And, I mean, you could be closing 6-figure, 7-figure deals. I mean, within 2-3 emails, make deals on LinkedIn. It's the best place to be, make the money, meet great like-minded people. So you want to be on LinkedIn. So definitely connect to me on LinkedIn before I hit my 30,000, because by the next couple of months I might hit the 30,000. Then you have to start deleting people and having them really get choosy, right? But I just can't thank you enough, Dominic, because Dom, I just want to tell everyone, if you don't know who Dom is, they probably do here, but because we're going to show this around. So Dom Wu is a very great leader in our communities, and so I'm very thankful we have this wonderful leader, an exceptional talent in user interface and user design. She's worked with great companies in LA that have done very successful, multi-million-dollar campaigns because of her incredible design, trained user interface and designer. And then I brought you to the Capitol Records hackathon. Because I told her, I said, oh, she want to go, I'm moving, blah, 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 blah. I said, go to the Capitol Records hackathon, because the Bose is going to have the Bose glasses.
Yeah, I got one.
And there you go. She won my Bose glasses at the hackathon because of me. And because she had it was really funny. She did like Mario Brothers with audio reality. It was an incredible project. They love that thing. And Capitol Records has a hackathon every year. I love Capitol Records, Universal Music, and Ching Ching is running that whole thing. And she brings in some heavy hitters and Consensus, Blockchain, and all sorts of incredible companies have come in to participate in that. So I would definitely make sure to connect with Dom. And she also has an incredible group a big XR group on a meetup. And so this is an incredible opportunity for me and others to be able to be a part of your XR group and to be able to, you know, bring all this great future technology and development and insight to the world. So thanks so much, Dom.
Yeah, thank you, though. Thank you for being the speaker and share all your expertise, and everyone learn from you. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it just kind of flows. Like, I love to talk, but like, and it just flows down like from source or whatever. But I know I see a lot, and I have a lot of wisdom, and I know I have a lot of intelligence, and I am always looking for great intel and new intel. And new products and new solutions and new resources and new people. And so now's a great time. You know, we have to keep positive and push past the virus. And now's a great time to connect, collaborate, and make money, learn from other people, sell, help people, and make solutions.
Cool.
So thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so
Thank you.
So yeah, thank
thanks,
you.
guys.
Yeah, still be here.
Have a great week. Go over to LinkedIn now. I'm going to LinkedIn right now because I got like 100 people sending me an email I got to connect to.
Yes.
Take care, guys. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, though.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.